Hey y'all, welcome to another What Else is Going On, aka We Go podcast episode. I'm your girl, your host Taria. Y'all, I'm super excited. If you're watching, you probably recognize this absolutely gorgeous face with a smile that is so welcoming. She already feels like a girlfriend to me. If you're listening, you may recognize the voice. I have the funny, beautiful, provides insightful commentary, knows what it's like to be behind, like on the producer end of things. So I believe she provides commentary with a different insight to things, which I love. Y'all need to welcome. And she has the most iconic facial moment of any YouTuber out there. She already knows what I'm going to say. When Akeisha Holly announced her resignation, I went back and watched Jazz's face about 30, 11 times. It was amazing. Y'all, please welcome Jasmine, aka Jazz Henley Brown, to the podcast.
Hello. Oh my gosh. First of all, think like the intro. I need you to introduce me like when I'm walking in the grocery store, like
I got
every
you.
part of my life. That was amazing. Thank you so much. You're incredibly beautiful, incredibly kind as well. And we've been seeing each other.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm so glad that we're able to connect. And yeah, people literally write me and be like, girl, the face you were making when she quit on Carlos's show. Y'all, it was so unexpected. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think I've ever like said this publicly.
Okay.
That happens. I didn't know that Carlos didn't know. I'm sitting there and I'm
Okay.
like, surely Carlos knows that. At first she was saying it and I'm like, is she doing what I think she's doing? And then when it clicked, I'm like, does Carlos know? Like, was this like planned? It was not planned. Like every reaction from me, I'm like, I'm processing in real time. Like, wait a minute, this lady is quitting on the show on his podcast. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
So
I
you're
was shocked.
processing her quitting, but also trying to process if he knows and then seeing his reaction,
Yes,
processing that he didn't know.
exactly. Because I'm like, when I go onto people's platforms, I like to call it their house. When you're
Yes.
in someone's house, I'm trying to like follow your lead emotionally. So I'm like, okay, if he doesn't know, I don't want to overreact to this
Right.
and like make
Oh,
it
that's a
really
good
bad. But then I'm
point.
like, I don't want to underreact either because this is crazy as hell that she's doing that. So I was trying to like process so many things in real time, but like he didn't know either. But like, Carlos is the ultimate professional. You know what I'm saying? Like for the most part, he has a good poker face, but he's the ultimate professional. And so that's why I'm like, wait a minute. Does he know? Does he not know? What the hell
Right.
am I
Because
supposed to
he
do?
just kind of like, you
Yep.
could, it was a very quick flash of like, oh, she's doing what I think she's doing. And then it just went
Yeah.
right back. Like,
Yep.
okay. That
Yeah.
I'm telling you that that was iconic. I feel like it should have been everywhere. Like your reaction was me, what I would have done. Like there's been times when I react to stuff, my friend will be like, close your mouth. I'm like, my bad. Because it was truly jaw dropping.
Yes, yes. And I was like, the whole situation was so funny because I had just gotten to New York to my mother-in-law's house. So I'm in my fiance's old like childhood bedroom. So I'm sitting at his I'm sitting at his old like desk. Like I have like the most hodgepodge setup because like I'm
Yes.
not at home. And because I think this was like last year around this time, like around the
Yes.
holidays. But yeah, so I'm there. I'm not in my own space. So I'm just like, what the hell is happening? Like everything is I'm processing so much right now.
Unfamiliar. You couldn't even like look at your poster wall or look at
Right.
something familiar to center yourself. It was just too much. That I was like, I've never seen anything like it. But it's so funny in this space. It's like, okay, that's another thing to add. So if something like that were ever to happen to me, or if I'm in that situation, boom, because that was there was a part of me that I was like, oh, my, like even every viewer was probably doing what you were doing at that
Yes, yes.
time.
People were like chatting in like same, like Jazz is me. And I'm like, yes. And then somebody on Twitter, it's still the funniest thing. I haven't saved it on my phone. Somebody tweeted, Velma was gagged. They called me Velma because I had that turtleneck with the glasses on. And I was like, that's shady, but like so funny. Like, listen, I don't mind being shaded if it's funny. Because
If
a
it's
good joke is
funny.
gonna a good joke is gonna get me every time.
Yes.
So Velma, that was classic. I have it in my phone. If the person who said that is listening, you are an icon.
That is really good. Velma is to be able, people on the internet are so quick. Have you found like the more you're in comments or the more like I'm sure people comment on your content, you're like, people are hilarious. And I love that's how I
Mhm.
handle things with humor anyway.
Same.
So I always tell this story. My mom was like that, my grandmom was like that. My grandmom was transitioning. She was going to her heavenly home. We were in the hospital room with her. So my mom's like, she didn't like the dark. We don't know what it's like on that. So let's sing to her, right? My mom's, see, this is, it's funny, but it's like morbid, but it's not. We can kind of bond over that. My mom starts singing Stairway to Heaven and goes, we both just started laughing.
I'm
I was hoping
lit,
she was on it, Jasmine, but at the same time,
I mean,
she was literally at the on the bottom step.
I love moments like that. Like I love dark comedy. I
Yes.
always say this, like I'm a millennial and I just grew up in a time where like comedy and everything, it was offensive, it was dark, it was morbid. And then like, I have siblings and like we
Yes.
use comedy to just cope with things and like we laugh at the stupidest stuff. And so I'm like, if something is funny, whether it be dark, unfortunately offensive, I know if it's funny, I'm gonna laugh. I'm so sorry. That is funny. Stairway to
That
Heaven is funny.
yes, and we were just looked at each other and just started laughing like, okay, I guess we need to sing "I'm Just a Nobody." Like we have the Williams, but like any of that. But that was really funny, and I always use that as an example. Like that is my humor too.
Yeah,
If not because I can have extremes, so I'd rather be there because the opposite end is not being able to function in some
right.
situations. So you're like,
Mm-hmm.
this is it. So
Mm-hmm.
speaking of, nope, there's no transition. I'm getting right into it. Okay, so I was like trying to figure it out. Y'all, I told Jasmine that I had a fun Housewives game and I was on a friend's podcast. Oh, you know what? Before I go back to that, I told Jasmine that I was going to tell her on air when I first wanted her to come on the podcast, like when I first heard her. You were doing my friend Kendrick's podcast. Do you remember that? It was before it was I Cannot. And it was even Kendrick with Marvel. And it was like 2 or 3 years ago. If yes, I know I'm
What were we talking about?
Potomac, I believe. Wait, Jasmine, wait a minute. Am I saying the wrong? Y'all, I might be, hold on. I might be saying the wrong. Guess what I'm doing right now? Typing your name into um, Apple. I'm pretty sure. What, where have you always been Henley Brown?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
That
hold on.
it's gonna change when I get married in May, but yeah, Henley Brown is
Okay.
my full name, yeah.
Okay. Y'all forget the audience listening. Y'all forgive me. I could have swore that you did. I'm going to find it. I know. Okay. So I have a friend named Kendrick, and his podcast right now is called I Cannot. He's amazing. I know you have seen his memes. His memes are legendary. If you go on Instagram and type in I Cannot, Ken,
Okay, I cannot.
because if I got the wrong person after all day long, I was like, make sure I tell her.
I'm gonna say you might because I have a pretty good memory,
Oh my
especially when people like invite me onto their stuff. I do not remember a Kendrick at all. Like I can't
God.
even picture it.
Okay, then you was on somebody. Oh my God. Okay. My bad, Kendrick. I had confused you with somebody.
Yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, I don't know him. Nope, I cannot.
Oh my. Okay. Then I heard you on someone else's podcast and literally was like, I want to have her on. And this
Oh.
whole time I've associated you with Kendrick.
Yeah, no, I mean his podcast looks really cool, but no, I
Mhm.
sorry to that man. I don't know.
I'm gonna text him after this. He gonna be like, "Girl, get it together." Well, Jazz was on someone's podcast,
Yeah.
and I heard her, and I wanted to reach out, have her on, and then I was like, I'm nervous sometimes to reach out because you just never know. I'll say this, you have some people that are not, and I'm saying this for lack of a better word, I'm not shading
Hmm.
anybody because I'm not a housewife, but you have some people that are not housewives, are not on TV. They create memes, they create, and then you may reach out and they look at you like, oh, and it's like, girl, I know you not. I've had housewives on. You think I'm so I didn't think that you would be that, but also it still makes you nervous sometimes to reach out,
Sure.
you know.
Hmm.
So then you were with Carlos on Reality Rundown, and then
Hmm.
you had Carlos on your podcast channel search, and I text Carlos and was like, I want to have Jasmine on, but I don't want her to say no. He was like, girl, if you don't message her. So shout out to Carlos J. Harris. Carlos is a
Yes.
connector for me to so many people.
Yeah, he's such a good guy. Like we followed each other on Twitter and then we randomly ended up on Wellington's podcast together. And like once we got on the video, we were like, oh, like we were like Spider-Man meme, like that is you. We were pointing at each other, and that was like our first time officially like talking to each other outside of just tweeting. And we really just hit it off. Like after we did
Yes.
Wellington's podcast, we stayed on for like another hour just talking about stuff. But can I actually go back to something that you said in the
Yes, ma'am.
beginning about like being nervous to reach out? And like, I hope this isn't going off on too much of a tangent, but
No, feel
um,
free.
I think it's so natural to be nervous when you're reaching out to a new person. I was actually talking to Elle, briefed by Elle.
That's my
Um,
boo. I love
yeah,
her.
I love her. She's so funny. I've had her on my podcast twice. Like that's how much
Mhm.
I really appreciate her. But we were having just, a candid conversation about how in this industry, everything is a social climb, right? So like you
Girl.
do have some people who you'll reach out and they'll be open and they'll want to, support you and come on. And then you do have some people who are like, okay, if this is not going to advance me, then it's not worth my time. And, I think that's so short-sighted. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
because the person my favorite quote is, overlooked today, sought after tomorrow, right? So it's like,
Oh,
or
that is
ignored today,
good.
sought after tomorrow. Like the person that you might not think, oh, their platform can't advance my platform right now, ignoring them, that could be your, the person that you're clamoring to meet or trying to get on their platform a couple months down the line. And I'm
You
not saying
better.
you have to do everything, right?
Yes,
But
yes,
don't ignore people. Like I've had to reject people recently. Like people will write me and like, "Oh, can I come and recap with you?" And I'm like, "So sorry." Like, well, I think
yes,
it would be great, but I'm kind of limiting my guests to people who actually do TV and film content, right? So
yes.
there is a way to say no, but like I don't like to ignore people. So said all that to say, if anybody's listening, don't
I
don't don't be afraid to reach out to anybody. Shit, I've emailed Oprah, I've emailed Issa
know.
Rae, I've emailed. Listen, if I can find your email
Same.
and I want something from you, I'm gonna email you.
It's so funny because it's like my aunt would tell me, you has told me before, she was a teacher, nothing beats a fail except for a try. Like, you got to try.
You
So it's
have
funny you
to.
say that. I remember one time I reached out to Tiffany Haddish's people for my other podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They said yes, but circle around these dates because she's promoting. And then I let a little bit of self sabotage,
Mm-hmm.
never did it. And then when I did go to reach back out after that, they were like, nope, sorry.
Yeah.
Now people can
Yeah.
look at that one or two ways. You know what? But how
Lesson
you,
learned.
yes, how you say, so it's like, I almost feel like I get in my own way sometimes. I don't know if you've ever felt like that. It's like I'm in
Mm-hmm.
my own way, just do it. So, y'all
Mm-hmm.
listening, take Jazz's advice, whether it's reaching out. Now, don't 900 of y'all that do not do TV and film stuff be emailing Jazz to come on the podcast. Okay. Me either. No, just kidding. But, and I also know what you mean about that too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget I had a person that I love. Dear, this was years when I first started the podcast. And so I had just started doing it, uploading the Zoom videos before I would just do audio. And we talking, and I literally fell in love with her instantly. But girl, she's like, yeah. And I see her moving. I said, are you walking around with the computer? Like this is still, she was getting ice. I said, girl, sit, please sit down. So it's like, while the conversation is good, it still is a professional,
Yeah.
type setup. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we're going to
Mm-hmm.
take your advice. So, y'all listening, if you have been wavering on doing something, reaching out to someone, whether it's a graduate school program, whether it's child to be the lead usher at the church, take Jasmine's advice and just do it. Take that leap of faith because you never know where you'll end up.
Just do it and don't be offended if somebody says no. Don't be
Listen,
offended if somebody ignores you. Cause guess what? I'm at the point I'm like, I get ignored. I get told no so much right now. I'm like, there's gonna be a day in the near
come
future.
on.
Everybody that said no or that ignored me, y'all are gonna be reaching out to me. So I'm
That,
not even worried about it. So that's how you have to look. You have to be very arrogant. You have to be
come on.
delusional in the best way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you guys can say no to me right now, but I know there's gonna be a time. I've seen it happen. I've literally seen it happen. I've seen it happen.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I would love to hear you, Issa Rae. I would love to hear you and Oprah. You have a voice. I would love to hear you with anyone. I would listen,
Thank
You know
you.
how some
Girl,
people
you speak so much life. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Truly.
you're
Truly.
welcome. I have always been of the thought that if you like someone about, especially women, I've
Yeah.
always loved women, all women, but I especially feel clearly a kinship with women who look like me because I
Yeah.
know that we don't get that and we so deserve it and we are so dope and so magical.
Yeah.
So I would rather overly give someone flower, like telling all my true feelings,
Yes.
than have had the chance and not told them because you never know how that could
That's
shift
real.
somebody's day. So, and I have
That's
a thing
real.
with voices since I was a little girl, and I've people who have listened to the podcast have heard me say this. So, something about your voice is soothing. There are certain voices that I can't listen to because my nervous system goes no matter they could be saying the sky is blue and my body's like I can't. So
That's so funny that you said, I just made a video on my TikTok a couple weeks ago. I used to be really insecure about my voice because people used to make fun of it when I was younger. Yeah, because this voice that I have now, like you hear it, it matches a grown woman, right? Like it sounds like a
okay.
woman's voice. But I've had this voice since I was a kid. So like, yeah, my
Okay.
father has a really, really deep voice. So all of his children, we all have like deeper voices, which as we get older, they work. But like when
Yes.
you're young and you're a young girl and you have a deep voice, I will call my friends and their parents will be like, my child can't talk on the phone to boys. And it's like, I'm not a boy.
I am not a boy, Damon. No.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And like, oh, like adults would make fun of like when they would ask me my name and I would say like Jasmine, they would make fun of my voice because it sounded like a really deep voice on a kid. So for a while, I was like really insecure about how my voice sounded. But yeah,
Wow.
since I've been I've been in the industry for a minute, but ever so often somebody will be like, I love your voice. And I'm like, that compliment means so much more than you guys will ever know
No,
because there was a time when I'm like, I hate how my voice sounds.
I love it. I mean,
Thank
not you
you.
sound in the fourth grade, you were sounding like a jazz lounge singer, this
Yeah.
soulful
Tony
singer,
Braxton, Anita Baker, very that. Yep.
Well, speaking of, you were talking about the industry. I had looked at your when I, was doing my research and stuff. I knew that you executive produced, but you've done Sirius, Sony, TLC.
hmm
What has been your favorite thing that you've worked on? If you're allowed, if you can share.
Yeah, no, that's a very easy one for me. In 2017, I founded the Milwaukee Podcast Festival. So I grew up
So
in
dope.
Milwaukee. Yeah, I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's like, if you're unfamiliar with the Midwest, it's about an hour and a half away from Chicago.
Okay.
So it's right on Lake Michigan. Beautiful city, amazing food. I would say best food in the nation, but I'm
Oh,
biased.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I grew up in
Challenge accepted.
Milwaukee.
No.
Right. I grew up in Milwaukee, and when I started working, I would say in entertainment in like 2012-ish.
Okay.
I was an intern for Vibe. I was an intern at the Breakfast Club when the Breakfast Club was like on, I
Wow.
think their second year on air. I was
Okay.
living in New York at this time, and it's just cool. So once you leave a smaller city like Milwaukee and you go live somewhere like New York City, a lot of people start to know who you are and stuff. And
Okay.
so fast forward a few years later, I started my own podcast called the 20 something series, just to chronicle like the last couple years of my 20s because they were crazy as hell. And so when I started that, a bunch of people from my hometown started reaching out to me like, oh, can you listen to my podcast? Or like, I want to start a podcast about X, Y, and Z.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, there's so many really good podcasts in Milwaukee. And I'm like, people would never know because you
okay.
don't think creatives when you think of Milwaukee, right? You especially don't think black creatives because most people don't even think black people live in Milwaukee.
Right.
Because every time I say that, they're like, there's niggas there. I'm like, yeah, plenty. Plenty of us, okay? My first teachers, principals, the first authority figures in my life were all black people, and
I
you
need
would
that on a
never know that.
t-shirt. I need the next if I need it to say Milwaukee in the front and on the back there's niggas there. I
Yep.
want you to say.
That's that literally people have asked me that question just like that. But yeah, so I just was, getting all these really good podcasts being said to me and yeah, came up with this idea for the Milwaukee Podcast Festival. My friend Jadon, he had a really popular podcast at the time, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to partner with me on this?" And so in 6 months we put together a podcast festival, and it was at the Arts Center in Milwaukee. And then I said the Breakfast Club thing because it was a callback because Charlemagne actually headlines my podcast festival. He had a popular podcast, or he still does, I think, with Andrew Schultz called The Brilliant
Yes.
Idiots. And they were really popular at the time. And the Breakfast Club was also syndicated in Milwaukee. So people loved Charlemagne there. So people were coming to my podcast festival. They didn't even know what the hell a podcast was in 2017, but they're like, oh,
Right.
Charlemagne's going to be there. I'm coming. So yeah, that's easily the like my favorite career highlight because it was
Wow.
such a labor of love. It happened so quickly. I was broke as hell. Like the day of, I didn't even have my rent payment, like because we had to pay out of
Wow.
pocket. I
Yes.
could do a whole episode on like how many mistakes we made to make that happen, but it's still to this day, almost 10 years later, one of the things that is still getting me opportunity. So like while it was a big financial undertaking at the time, I've made my money back so many times
Wow.
over just from taking that leap of faith. So yeah, the Milwaukee Podcast Festival.
I love that. And it speaks to your character because you could have um, did a financial undertaking that only included you, but
Mm,
you decided, hey, I'm in a position to be able to unlock the door for somebody else or expose people to a different audience and used your own resources, your own finances to bring up other people after you. So that speaks a lot to your character because we just talked about people saying no and not
hmm
everybody does that.
Yeah.
So that is really dope. That
Yeah, me and
is
my
so
friend Jadon. Yeah, my
cool.
friend. I always like I can
Hey,
never talk about.
Jadon.
Yeah, exactly. I can never talk about the podcast festival without him because he actually put up the first round of money that we needed. So
Wow.
yeah, he really believed in the vision, and yeah, it wouldn't have even gotten off the ground had it not been for him. So yeah, we did that.
Is that something that you would want to do again or like maybe take from state to state? Like, oh, hey, just I'm just imagining because that's like so dope that you did that.
Yeah, I wanted to do it again and we talked about it, but it's one of those things. The experience was a little traumatic,
Okay,
honestly. Like me
okay.
and Jadon hated each other for a good bit of it. And I'm just like, he's like a brother to me. Now I'm like, for the sake of friendship, we
Yeah,
probably should not do this
we
again.
shouldn't partner in this. We should not. Okay, that's good. Okay, okay. Well, I feel like I'm getting to know you even more. So now I want to ask you this next question. This is
hmm
you've done a lot. That was your favorite. There is, I'm sure you've heard people ask other people like, "Oh, what's a letter? What would you say to your younger self?" And
hmm
I say the same thing whenever I ask somebody this question. I get the sentiment behind it. But in my mind, every time I heard that, I would think, "Oh, that's cool," but I don't really have anything to, I mean, I do have things I can say to her like, "Girl, it's going to be all right."
hmm
But none of that will change anything. But I do have words for the future, Taria. So I could tell
mm
her, girl, hold on. In 2026, we're going to be A, B, and C. If and I can promise future Taria, if you wait for me, I'm going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
So let's speak to the Jasmine Henley Brown of 2027. What would you be congratulating your future self on achieving? Whether it's a 501 501, however you say it, whether it's getting married, whether it's having children, whether it's starting a business, whether it's starting 9 more podcasts, what would you be congratulating the Jasmine of 2027 on achieving?
Man, I have so many. I feel like I'm the most clear on my future than I've ever been. And
Wow. Okay.
yeah, because I remembered what my initial dream was. I've forgotten it for
Mm.
so long, and I just remembered it within the last couple months, right?
Girl, you
And
speaking to my soul. Go ahead.
yeah. And so now that I'm walking in what I think I always should have been, I guess what I'm saying to my future self is like, Bitch, it's like we're about to have fun. Like I'm congratulating myself, and I say bitch with love, y'all.
Oh,
I
I
didn't even
get
ask
it.
you if I can curse on here, Taria. I
Girl,
just
this is our home together. We're
okay.
sharing our home.
Look,
We're in an Airbnb sharing, so it's our home. Go ahead.
I need to do better, but my both my parents curse like sailors, so it was only gonna be natural. But yeah, so I'm getting married in May, so I obviously will be congratulating myself on having a healthy marriage.
Yes.
Hopefully by 2027 we will have a baby or two. I want twins, so
Okay,
it can
Lord.
be one and done. So
I will get the Lord off the main line because it's too many, and get him on the back line and tell him what you want. Okay.
yeah, yeah, that's that's personal, and then professionally, um. I feel like there's an award or something in my future. I don't know what that's going to be, but I see myself on stage accepting an award because I specifically see myself not only thanking God, but thanking my fiance, who will, by that time be my
Okay.
husband, because he's created such a support system
Mhm.
for me to be able to do everything that I'm doing now without having to worry about if I'm making money from it or not. And I feel like
Mm.
that type of the type of person who lifts that kind of burden from you, his only goal for me is that I work on this like it's my full-time job, even if I never see a penny for it for years, years to
Wow.
come, right? And to me, I'm getting emotional because he's always been that way. And I've been a
Wow.
little defiant, like, no, I want to do X, Y, and Z. But my fiance, like before we even got together, we were friends for like maybe 5 years.
Oh, that's
He has been telling me I should be doing YouTube probably since like 2013. Yeah. Like literally 2013. We weren't even looking at each other in
like
that way.
that.
He was in a relationship with somebody else. I was doing my thing. We weren't even looking at each other in that way. And he would tell me like, you have the personality for like do YouTube. And he had been telling me that. And then we got together. He's like, do YouTube. And then I got laid off from Sony in 2023. And I started a consulting company and I just wasn't loving it. I wasn't
Okay.
loving it. And every time I would do Carlos's show, I would tell my fiance, like, I've had more fun. I had more fun doing his show than I've had doing any job I've done in the last couple of
Wow.
years. And he's like, you need to do it. So he would always be like, he was always that nagging
In your ear.
presence, like do your YouTube, like record a video, do this, do that. He's bought me cameras, like he's lights, everything that I've needed, he's invested in. And his only thing that he's asked of me is that I go hard at this like it's my full-time job.
Mm.
I'm doing that now. And so yeah, I know I went on a long tangent about that, but like
No.
that's I see myself getting an award because I want to be able to thank him on a public stage like that for doing what he's doing for me.
That is actually really beautiful. And no, it wasn't a tangent. I always say nothing happens by accident. So these conversations, curating these conversations, I just feel like you never know who's listening. Like, yeah, we're going to get into the reality TV of it
Yeah.
all, but you've definitely spoken to my soul. And I'm praying that whoever's listening, they could be having feelings of how somebody could be telling them, hey, do
Mm-hmm.
this. Or you may have somebody that's in a relationship that's not as supportive. And it's like, so I appreciate this supportive man.
Yeah.
Definitely. My husband's the same way. And sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, for me, it's sometimes fear stopping me, even though
Mm-hmm.
you think you have a good product, but then it's like, but um, no. So, what's your fiance's name?
Ray.
Hey, Ray. That's my brother's name. You good people. And my uncle's name. Shout out to Ray for supporting our girl because if you didn't, who knows, she may not be sitting here in front of us right now. So, shout out to you.
Very
He's a
true.
good man, Savannah.
Oh, that's literally my friend Jasmine Ellis Cooper. She was on Summer House Martha's Vineyard.
Yes. Hey, Jazz.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just talked to Jasmine the other day. And she just happened to call. We were Ray and I were at dinner, and every time we talk and I mention him, she's like, "That's a good man,
Miss
Savannah."
Savannah.
So that's so funny because
Yes.
Jasmine says that all the time.
A good man, Savannah. I'm telling you, there is nothing like a supportive part and a person who knows you. Because I firmly believe, yeah, your parents can know you, your family
Hmm.
can know you, but as you grow with the person that you live with, they know
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And so to have a person that knows you intricately, see something in you that sometimes you may not quite see in yourself or you think it's there, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It is.
And I love the way you talk positively. about him because I feel like we're too in, I listen to different things and it's like the thing to do is to
Mm-hmm.
like speak down and I'm like no like I'm not everything's not perfect
Right.
but at the same time it's good and I'm going to speak positive, you know what I mean, like because he's
Mm-hmm.
good, so I'm going to speak the good things, so it's nice to hear people talk about their love in a healthy way.
Absolutely. I would, I think it's important to, and Elle and I just talked about this when we recap Married to Medicine. The way you talk about your
Baby,
partner on a public forum is so important because that is going to show other people how they can talk about your partner, right? And I'm a pretty private person. Actually, even when I was saying all that, I was like, I can't believe, but that's the power of you. That's the power of you because I don't even really talk a lot about my personal life because it is that important to me. So it's like I never want to leave anything up for anybody else's
come on.
interpretation, to misrepresent anybody in my personal life. And so yeah, Elle and I were saying that because Contessa and the
Baby,
way she
that's what I
talks
was
about
thinking of.
Scott, yeah, and then she gets mad at how other people talk about him, but it's like you've trained us to talk about that man this way. And so now you can't renege on that. So yeah,
Right.
it's important. The way you talk about your partner when you're in public is super important.
It's funny because I said, Contessa, you done made me agree with Heavenly. And Lord knows when Heavenly has said for years, Contessa tells you something and then she wants you to forget
Yep.
or act like it never happened. And it's like, since we're here, I'll ask you the housewives question when we get to housewives. But since you're
Okay.
here, let's jump into Married to Medicine. I don't like to, and I feel like you are the same way. Sometimes words get overused
Hmm.
and we're not, and it's like, we need to know the meaning of words and how we're using them. And even sometimes myself, I do that. I don't always go immediately to hater because I'll never forget. I used to have a youth pastor that would say, everybody ain't hating on you. Some people just don't like you.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Contessa was giving hater at Brandy's dinner. And
Yes.
it especially stood out to me because before that, at your party, you were literally low key shading your marriage to her in the parking lot.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
I was cringing at Contessa at that dinner.
I was too. I was disappointed in her as
Yeah,
well because I feel like there was a way how do I say this? I don't think there's ever a time when you need to publicly shame the efforts of your friend's spouse,
come on.
partner, whatever, right? Like you might have thought your party was the bee's knees, right? Like she was feeling herself. She was saying, "This is the party y'all best party y'all have ever gone to, all this and that." So you felt like your party was amazing. You don't then go to her birthday dinner and
Come
then
on.
look down on it because it wasn't on the same level as your birthday party. Now, her man chose to plan that for her and
Mhm.
pay for that for her. So whatever at whatever level it was, that was the effort of her man. That's not for you to come on and then shit on that. You know
Yes.
what I mean? I was really disappointed in her because had she not talked about her disappointment with Scott, imagine people coming in and shitting on her birthday party.
Mm.
Imagine, Toya's thrown like
Yes.
crazy events. Imagine Toya coming in here like, this is all he could have do. Toya's voice. This is all he
Yeah.
could have done.
Yeah.
Imagine that, right? Like you would be so salty about that. So I was really disappointed in Contessa in that scene.
Same. And like you said, here you are throwing like trying to throw salt on what her husband planned for her. And let's be honest, her husband may know her. Maybe she is saying this year, because I've had years, my husband would be like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like,
Yes.
I just kind of want to like chill, you know? And he'll say, "Well, blah, 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 blah." And he will plan something, which is nice, even though it's okay. He knows I want it low key. And for me, Contessa, I felt like it was an excuse with her saying, he knows, he doesn't know what I want. Well, isn't that what communication is about? You tell
Yeah.
him, and then he follows through on because it would still relieve a burden off of you to know I gave my husband some ideas. He's got it.
Yep.
Like I was cringing with Contessa. I said all she is doing now is weightlifting and screaming when she gets upset. Like, are you taking a
Wait.
pre-workout?
I was about to say, is Contessa having roid rage? Is she on those steroids and that's what's got her off?
We
I'm
are
just,
connected because I
just
was
joking,
like,
Contessa.
yeah, like let us like girl, if it like what is going on? I mean, she is always just like everything is so amped.
Yeah, Contessa's an interesting person because I
Yeah,
think that there is maybe, and this is not a professional opinion. I could never be a doctor or psychologist. I hate school. Could not be in school for that long. But she seems to be harboring some resentment, I think. And honestly, I think it goes both ways. We don't know
Mhm.
enough about Scott, but I think there might be some resentment on both ends.
I agree.
And marriage is important to a lot of people. They've been
Yeah.
married for 20 years at this point. They have
Mhm.
children, they have a business together. It's not so easy to be like, well, you're getting on my nerves. I can't stand you. Let's divorce.
Yeah.
So, because they feel like that, there might be some resentment because there might be things going unsaid. There might be things
Yeah.
that they both have wanted that they haven't been able to do because of the other person. I think we saw that a couple seasons ago when I think Contessa said she wanted to be like the Surgeon General or something
Why
when she
did
was
you
in
just
school.
take that out of my head? I
Yeah,
was getting ready to bring
yeah.
that up, Jazz. Go ahead.
Yeah, didn't she have to stop doing
Yes.
that?
Well,
Uh,
did she? Okay, so that's because I know in the beginning she could have went to Emory, but she didn't want to go there, so she chose to go away. I thought she stopped, but she said she's okay. So when I was watching that at first, as it was rolling out, I felt like, can you imagine telling your husband with small kids, by the way, I need to go hours away. I need you to take care of them. I need you to do that. He does it. And then when you come home for the weekend, it's why are they eating McDonald's? Why are they doing this?
yeah.
I felt like because it's not done your way, you had an issue. Then I was like, when she stopped going, I thought she made it, and I could be wrong. I thought she made it seem like I had to stop going because he wasn't doing like it came off to me like he's not doing it the way she wants it to do. So she's going to use him as a she's going to blame him for stopping when he was supporting her the entire time, just maybe not doing it the way she wanted.
Yeah.
Or was it him stopping? I can't I can't
I don't remember either, but all I know is the outcome is that she didn't
Yes,
finish what
you're
she
right.
started, right? And she's
Hmm.
by all accounts a woman who likes to complete things. She's very competitive. So her not being able to finish that for whatever reason, I could see her having some resentment towards Scott for that. She's also kind of controlling based on what we've been able
Mm.
to see cuz like to your point, he was he was doing the best that he could do, but it wasn't her standard. And that was the other thing with the party. She said that
Mm.
had he thrown me something, he would have done something in the backyard. That's not what I wanted. So I handled it. Okay. She was
Mm.
very much on her Olivia
Yes.
Pope is handled. All right. So she was like, I'm going to do this because I want it to be done a certain way. Now, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes when you want stuff done
Yeah.
a certain way, you are the one that has to do it,
Yeah.
but you can't hate your husband then because he doesn't do things the exact same way that you do. But I just think it boils down to maybe some unspoken resentment between the
Yeah.
two of them, and it's coming out in the way that she deals with the women.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's something you said that at the bottom line, sometimes you may have to do stuff and you can't get mad at your husband. And I immediately thought, so we get water, bottles of water, and we have a little stand that we keep them in. I want all the labels facing the same way. I just think it's pretty. And he said, I will put these waters up, but I'm not, you're gonna have to go back in. And I said, why can't you just, that's double work. Why I gotta go back in and turn them just so now he don't put
Now he's probably like, hey, I will put this water in. I'll do the heavy lifting, but just come in here and you can just turn them the way you want to turn them.
now he does the heavy lifting and puts it in front of the stand for me. There you go.
Have
Since
at
you
it.
look,
Yep.
so he drew the line because I don't normally I don't drink a lot of soda, but I do buy ginger ale for the house. And then when I'm really want to kick it up a notch, Coke is my favorite outside of ginger ale, right? So they're red and green. In my mind, Jasmine, the way they're supposed to be in the refrigerator when I open it, I would like to see the green first and then the red. And the cans all facing the same way. And he agreed to do that, but the water just took him over. It's like-
Cause now, listen, even I am like, just put the darn sodas in the fridge. You're like the greens, the reds, the waters need to be faced this way. I need my rice in the canister, like piece by piece. I need my popcorn seeds in here, and I need to be able to see the whites of the popcorn. Very detail oriented. Listen, shout out to you.
But that's crazy because it's only with certain things. Like certain things, just I don't know why. It's like visually, it's like that's not right. But to your credit, then you're gonna have to do it yourself. He'll do the sodas, the water no more. He has drawn the line at sodas. So that's funny
That's a
that you say
compromise.
that,
He's like, I got you here, but not here.
but not here. Now this is going to be a throwback. And I'm not saying she did it because we recently saw them suing, countersuing. Some of the emotions that Contessa displays, I could see her doing what Buffy said she did.
What did Buffy say she
That she
did?
grabbed her by the neck and was like, let me rock you like those babies. Oh, you didn't? Yes. Buffy says that what we didn't see was that Contessa grabbed her and was like, let me rock you like the babies you didn't have.
Oh,
Yes. And so Contessa came online screaming at the camera and saying that didn't happen. And to Contessa's point, because now I didn't know to believe. To Contessa's point, she said there were so many people in that room. You know, on set, there's a lot of people, right?
right.
Somebody would
Yeah.
have said something. But then I also thought, not if they all agreed to not say anything. So Contessa said she was going to sue her for defamation, I believe. It ended up in
Mhm.
court. And I can't remember. All I know is that Buffy's attorney's fees were awarded to her. And because she hasn't paid them, they put a lien on Contessa's home.
Whoa, I didn't know any of
Yeah.
this. This is my first time
I'm gonna
hearing
find you the
about
clip
this.
and send it what Buffy's saying. And I know people are like, "Oh, Buffy just needs to move on." I think it's easier said than done when it's something that's. I
Oh
mean,
my
I
gosh.
get what people. It's like I get both sides of it, but yeah, it got really. When Buffy said that, she said there is no. I think she might have been talking to Carlos, and
Mm.
Carlos said allegedly, and she said there is no alleged. I was there. This is what she said.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, this is my first time hearing of
Yeah,
that. That's awful. I can't call it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I don't know. I think my baseline, my default with these people is like as much as we can speculate and try to analyze based on heavily edited footage, we do
yes,
not know them personally at the end
yeah.
of the day. So I don't know any of these people well enough to say what they would and wouldn't
When
say.
do yeah,
I would pray that that's not something Contessa would
that's
say,
what that's
but I don't know her,
because it's like I would like to think Buffy is not just lying.
That's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
It's
That's it
like
too. Who would
you
make up
don't,
something like that?
yeah, like you don't.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, Contessa has an aggression, like you said, and I think it comes from resentment. Like
Yeah.
I and maybe like you brought up a good point. It could be on both sides, which is
Yeah.
why they don't seem to get to. I couldn't believe. Remember seasons ago when Scott was showing the women in his DMs? I just think that's so disrespectful.
Yeah. Scott isn't, he's an interesting case because, yeah, Scott is
Okay,
interesting to me. I don't, I don't want to speculate too much
yeah,
on anybody's
but
husband, but I
he's
do.
interesting.
He is really interesting, and I think that they are together. I think there's just a lot of deep conversations that need to be had. And
Yeah.
Elle said something. She was like, Contessa, whatever she needs from Scott, she needs to tell Scott. And
Yes.
even if she feels like it's gonna hurt his feelings or whatever, she needs to communicate that to him, and then allow him to say, yes, I can meet this expectation, or no, I can't. And then you can decide how you proceed. If you tell
That's
him you
good.
need this, hey, every year for my birthday, I need a birthday party planned. Even if you're
Yes.
just gonna plan something at down to the Chuck E. Cheese with a pizza, I need to see some effort to
Yes.
celebrate my birthday. If you tell Scott that, and then Scott then says, hey, no, I don't want to do that, but I will give you the money every year for your birthday. You can then say, no, that's not enough for me. I would like to divorce. I mean, I know this is stupid hypothetical,
No,
but
but
then you can say, hey, that's not enough for me. I would like to move on. But if he never knows what you need,
right.
he can never meet your expectation because he doesn't know what that is.
And we can't expect for him to know based on just watching you. Because I used to get upset with my husband sometimes
Yes.
and I would say, you should just know. And he's like,
How?
how?
How am I supposed to just know? And then that's the other thing. Like they've been together for 20 years. How
Yes.
long have you and your husband been married?
Married for 24. It'll be 25 in September. And then together for two before that. So 26.
Now, imagine how many different women you have been in 26 years. Because as women, we
Oh,
are
girl.
always
Yeah.
evolving. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
That's true. Okay.
we are so many different women over the course
Yeah.
of relationships. That's friendships, platonic, personal, professional.
That's true.
We are constantly evolving. So expecting somebody to know everything, there's a
Yeah.
baseline. Don't get me wrong. There's
Yeah.
a baseline, but expecting somebody to know everything about you at all times, that is unrealistic because
Yes.
you probably can't also do the same. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And that's a good point. How many different women have we been throughout all these years?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, you would hope the hope would be that you would evolve.
Yeah.
Speaking of evolving, or some people may say lack thereof, y'all don't give, I have always liked Toya and Eugene. My husband and I interviewed them for my other podcast that we had years. It was like 2016, 2017. And I always maintain, I think I like Toya because she doesn't change for, I'm also not saying that's a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't kind of deviate from who she is. I feel like there's a way to always be yourself, but sometimes you do need to read the room and some things don't. But I felt like what we got from them outside of them being recorded, like was who, like I felt like I was talking to the Toya and Eugene that we see. So I
Yeah.
was like, wow. And it's funny because she's an Aries, I'm an Aries, he's a Sagittarius, my husband's a Sagittarius. I don't even know if that, it's like the same fire. So watching her and Eugene sometimes can be familiar, but I don't believe in some of the ways she has spoken to him. I'm like, girl, that's a bit reckless.
Yeah.
What did you think about Sunday's episode? Like, what did you make of the whole toy, all of it? I can't go, like take it away. I can't even.
I think Toya was drunk, even though she
Okay.
explicitly stated at some point that she
I'm not
wasn't drunk.
sure.
I think that was the drunkenness saying, trying to convince her, I'm not drunk.
No, tell him you're not
Sweetie,
drunk.
right,
Tell him
exactly. She was trying to, but I think it sounded like just like drunken rage. I don't know. This is a super super throwback. Anyone who watched, I want to say season 1 of the Bad Girls Club. Now remember we talked about like how many different women we've been.
yes.
This is a different Jasmine that used to watch the Bad
Okay.
Girls Club. Okay, it's
I
not
used to watch too.
right. It's not evolved, healed Jasmine. It was Jasmine that I mean, I do like a little mess still, but this
Yeah.
was back when the Jasmine that loved like give it to
To
me
see.
injected into my veins.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a girl on like season 1 named Ripsy. And Ripsy, I don't know if you remember Ripsy,
Oh no, I
she
don't know.
got so drunk and she would just start fighting people. Like there was one episode when she would like pass out from being drunk. She would wake up and just start fighting the girls. Literally, and then she would just pass out again, wake up again, resurrect herself, and she's
Start
looking for the next
fighting.
victim. Toya was like a grown adult Ripsy at that party because she was out for blood. She was pissed at Eugene. She goes in
Yes.
the house. Her friends try to calm her down. They think they've calmed her down.
That was so funny. That was
She
actually funny.
she goes back out and now she's cussing out all of her friends and everybody. And it's like, Toya. And I like Toya a lot. I think Toya represents something that needs to be seen on television as far as black women,
Come
affluent
on.
black women who are being provided for and who are living a life opposite of the struggle storylines. I'm not a fan of those. And so I've
Yep.
always liked what Toya has represented in that regard. And my fiance actually he always has liked Toya because he always says like Toya reminds me from like a girl from back home. He's from New York, like an
Yes.
around the way girl who made it, but like isn't trying to like forget about where like her core and like where she came from. So he's always liked Toya outside of the fact that she is pretty with a nice body. He likes her attitude, and I'm like, I think that's what endears a lot of the audience to Toya because she feels like she could be you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you don't have to come from an affluent family to marry, become a doctor's wife and be a stay-at-home mother. So I think that's what a lot of her fan base is made up of. But over the years, she has been very disrespectful to Eugene. And I saw if you don't mind, can I
No, go.
tell you something
Please.
I took a screenshot of this because I wanted to talk about it on here.
Okay.
So this woman in a Facebook group, and I'll just paraphrase it. She was just talking about like it's unacceptable to go on a rampage. Her name is Deja Love, by the way, on a
Okay.
rampage and verbally abuse and berate your friends and your husband. And then she was saying, a lot of the games she wanted to play involved a show of physical prowess. And she was saying that Eugene in the past has expressed that he gets insecure when he is around
Right.
the younger, more fit men. And I think specifically
Oh,
last season, he mentioned something about he was joking about it, but being insecure around King, who was
yes.
a young, fit man. And so for you to then try to, one, force him into another
Yes.
show of physicality that you know he's uncomfortable with, you know he's uncomfortable with his weight, and you know he's insecure around some of these younger guys. For you to try to
Mm.
force him and then shame him into that, that was unacceptable for me. So for Toya, it's like you should never, ever embarrass your husband in the way that she did with all of those things
Oh.
considered.
And to piggyback off of that, I didn't even think about that. That is such a good point. He has communicated that to her.
Hmm.
And then not only that with the games, her reasoning for the game, she said, so everybody will be able to take their shirt off at on the couple's trip.
That was a dig. That could be
Oh
taken
my
as a
God.
dig
And if
to your husband who's chubby.
and if he had have said something like that to her, wow.
Yeah.
That was a good point, Deja Love. Like that is a
Yeah,
really
Dave,
good
shout out to
point.
you, Deja
Like,
Love. Yeah.
because I know as a woman, if I've expressed those things to my husband and then you turn around and I would like reacted very well because there would be fire like
Hmm.
coming out of every orifice of my body. So, oh, that was such a good point.
Yeah, that was a very good point, and it was messed up. But you know, Eugene is very easygoing from what we
Yeah,
see, and I think that the opposite side of this is he's come to accept Toya for that side of her because I personally think he likes that about
me,
Toya. You ever heard that saying like, and I'm not calling Toya a bitch, okay? But
but
you ever heard that saying, men love bitches?
yes, they like mean women. I learned that in high school.
Toya is mean and pretty.
Yes,
Okay. I think Eugene loves her dirty bathwater. So
same,
he ain't
same.
coming up off of her, but
And
she couldn't stop.
there's a part of me that wonders if in private, because I know like for my husband, people always think I'm the one saying stuff or I'm the one doing this. He is a fight like he can match my energy. It's just in private. So I
Mm-hmm.
wonder sometimes if he's matching. Like there's little different things. Like when they were standing wherever they were, and she was in the pink talking about him doing the 5 hour drive, and he's like, duh, like
Okay.
different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. And then even when he made the joke last week about Toya's like, should we support Heavenly's campaign? He's like, I support things I believe in. Like you would think that would come from Toya. So I wonder sometimes if he gives it to her privately. But I agree with you. He loves that. I think he really truly loves that.
I think he does. I saw somebody comment on like an Instagram post, and there was a clip from this past episode, and they were like, "I think Eugene is just waiting for the kids to get older so he can divorce Toya. He's never leaving
No,
her.
I don't
He's never leaving her. I'm so sorry."
at all. And I think that he has been the only one that's seen her vulnerable parts. He
Yes.
knows all of her once again.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely I feel like they're locked into when people say like, "Oh, he's miserable." I look at the way he looks at her. He ain't miserable.
Eugene gets to go home to that. You know, in his eyes, she is his prize. You know what I'm saying? She
Yes.
is a trophy to him. She's beautiful. Didn't she's educated. I believe she
Yes.
went to college, right? Like for whatever however many times Heavenly calls her dumb. Toya's not stupid. You
No,
know what I
she's
mean? She
not.
might be a little rough around the edges, but that doesn't equate to uneducated. And yeah, she's a trophy for
Yeah.
Eugene. So and she's a great mother, right? Like she
Yes.
runs their household like it's the damn Navy.
Come
He
on.
knows, you know, he's gonna make his money. He's going to come home to a beautiful, clean home. His children are gonna be well taken care of. Like, I don't think I think people underestimate like how simple some people are. I think Eugene is just like,
Come
I want a
on.
beautiful wife who is going to take care of my home. I'll work 150 hours a week if it means I get to come home to this.
Say that again. Some people underestimate how
How
simple
simple.
people are and they feel
Hmm.
like they should want more, which is funny you say that. It brings me into something you said about Toya, that life being represented. A lot of people say, Toya is dumb. She didn't use her platform for this. She hasn't started 19 businesses. When Toya and Eugene got together, Eugene was a resident. Toya made the money. I believe she was doing medical supplies or something like that. She's
Oh.
always worked. So, and people forget she's working as we're watching her, making more than Eugene. So I even had to think about it. And I said, this hustle culture has got a lot of people choked up. I should use my platform to do this, do that. I had to learn. So my husband sings, and when I say sings, like he plays. If you were to say, when someone, he was the wedding singer. Oh, I want Kenny Lattimore this song. He learns how to play it. He sings it. Oh, I want Jesse Powell. He
Oh,
learns how to play.
nice.
But and then my kids all sing like that too. So now my kids used to be into entertainment, but my husband, I would be like, okay, well, let's try this avenue. Let's try this avenue. And I had to learn it's not always for something. Like sometimes people can just enjoy their gifts this way. And I say that
Hmm.
because hustle culture has us thinking if you have a talent or a gift, you're supposed to profit off of it, make money
Yep.
off of it, and you can fall out of love
Hmm.
with that. And I look at Toya like she worked before him.
Yep.
Why shouldn't she be allowed? She doesn't have to create, again, 36 streams of income if she wants to enjoy her money. Now, people may say, well, she's working Eugene into an early grave. I think Eugene I think he actually loves his job. And let's
Hmm.
not forget, it came out one season. Toya was like, I'm not the only one that shops, and was talking about the way he shops as well. And he admitted it. So it's like they both
Yeah.
like those things. I think he loves his job. And I think Toya is allowed to live this soft life. Now, if he were to say, listen, if you don't work between your money and mine, we can only do X, Y, and Z. That's one thing. But he's not saying that.
Right.
So if he's not saying, it'd be one thing if he said it and then she's just ignoring it. He's not saying it. He's benefiting from it as well. So I had to think like, if she don't want to start a wine line, a kitchen line, a cheese line, she don't have to. Enjoy playing tennis, girl. We should be able to watch you enjoy playing tennis.
That's it. And Toya, if you're listening, girl, I want to come play tennis with
Come
you. I've been
on.
taking my lessons.
Come.
I got my racket. I'm ready, but
I want to come and dress up and I'll record y'all though so y'all can get y'all Instagram moments. I'm gonna hold the racket,
yes,
but
real cute photo op. And then and then you're gonna put it down. But yeah, no, they have an interesting dynamic,
yeah,
and my only hope for them is that Toya stops
same,
berating him on national
same.
television. But I think, the ship has dealt with that because she says so many things about him over the years that like you
Ooh,
cannot
baby.
ring those bells. You know what I mean?
No.
And like unfortunately, her arch nemesis, Heavenly, is always going to have some ammunition based on the things that Toya has given her. So, but I do, for what it's worth, I still think they're a solid couple, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think what we saw on the TV, while it felt a touch too far for us as an audience, I think they're going to be just fine as a couple. But
same.
they're also a couple that I think could benefit from talking to the lady.
Woof. Most definitely. Because, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I feel like I'm gonna need to talk to the lady after admitting this on whew. I kind of feel like we know that Heavenly has said some stuff about Toya, whether it's on her YouTube, on the show. But in that moment, I was almost laughing, like at the little side comment, because I agree with Heavenly. Now that's too much, Toya. Don't do that,
Hell
Toya.
yeah.
I agreed with
Yes.
Heavenly, and I think she was taking. I think what Dr. Jackie. Oh, I'm about to open my mouth again because I'm about to agree with her. What she said in the confessional. I think Toya is embarrassed, and now she's trying to find a reason for the anger. I agreed with
Hmm.
that too.
Same, 100%, 100%. I surely was. I was like, Heavenly, it's funny,
Yeah,
but it's true.
but
Like
it's
she's like, "Oh no, Toya baby, don't do that. Don't fucking do that." Like, yeah, girl. And then Toya was mad at Heavenly talking about she has to go. She was trying to save you, girl.
yes,
She
and
was
like
trying
in
to
a
save you.
funny way, like
Yeah.
the way Toya swatted Anila away. Could get me a napkin. I said, "Now, girl, that's a touch. See,
She was drinking.
he
Toya, whatever you were drinking, girl,
don't do it.
stay off that Hennessy. Don't drink that Hennessy, girl.
Stay
The
off the
brown
brown
have you
liquor."
down.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Wait, not the brown have you. It had her down. But
Yes.
I'm loving Quad and Toya. I've always wanted them to get along. I
Yeah.
love that they seem like they have a real relationship. I mean, Quad was even at, did you see online where Toya had a little gathering for Eugene?
With the pajama. Oh no, I saw. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When she gave him like a
Cupcaker.
cookie. Yeah,
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 the
yeah.
cookie, yeah. And
Yep,
Quad
yep.
was there with King.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I like this for them. Like, I don't know why. I've always wanted them to kind of come to some
Yeah.
something.
Because they seem like they should make sense as friends.
Right.
Yeah.
But then
Mm-hmm.
Toya just said in an interview, I think with the reality rundown, shout out to Wellington and
Yes. Hey,
everybody.
boo.
She said Quad is the one that won't take accountability. But then they may have that relationship where they can say, that's one thing about Married to Medicine. They have the ability, each and every one, to frustrate me to want to do a Kendrick Lamar and turn my TV off, but then also crack up laughing
Yeah.
at
Mm-hmm.
them. So,
I love their dynamics because I do feel they're one of the few reality TV casts that I feel like they could withstand a lot, but all it takes is one tragedy, one really unexpected thing, and they will still come together for each other. They will still be there for each other, no matter
yeah.
the they've said some of the darkest shit about each other.
Oh
But
my
I
God.
still feel like there is a layer of love that exists between all of them, all
Mhm.
of the ladies. And you can see that every season I feel like they try to become friends or be like,
Yes.
you know, get the friendship back with somebody that they might have been beefing with last season who may have said the worst thing to them, and they come into a new season like, okay, bygones are bygones, or they're trying to work things out. And yeah, they're one of the very few reality TV casts that I actually believe it, though, because a lot of them come back and they're like,
Yes.
we're gonna be cool just for the sake of the show. I actually believe it with
Me
Married to
too.
Medicine. That's why I'm telling you, I've been saying this for years. That's one of, if not the best show, I think,
Yeah.
on Bravo. And it has been for a really long time.
I agree. And I last season I kind of turned it off. That Heavenly pissed me off so bad. I was just like, I can't watch. But then I was like, then I was mad at her. I'm like, you took my show that I love. But no, but I agree. You're right. But again, if she wasn't funny, it would be so easy to be like, but she is. When Contessa did that split and she said, oh, Contessa didn't split her,
Yes.
pick it
That's
back up.
that is why Heavenly gets away with murder.
Yes,
Because
because
she
she,
can make people laugh
yeah.
because her ass is vile.
But
Heavenly,
thank you.
she has said some stuff that I'm like, I'm not even a violent person. I'm not
Yeah,
even trying to act like I'm tough. But Heavenly has said some things that I'm like, I would have smacked the shit out of her in
that would
that moment.
make me swing on you on
Yeah.
camera without thought. Like,
Yes.
oh
Yes.
my, like you have lost your mind. Like that Mariah, do you need me to bring the receipts? If I had something, I would have told it. And I would like to think I wouldn't even do that. But like, oh girl, I would have ran it down on you.
That last season with Contessa, your
Ooh,
mama and her mom passed away.
my mom who's dead. Yeah. Okay. How did Heavenly get up underneath the horse? I don't know. Why is Heavenly's head the horse's ass? I don't know how she got there. I woke up and that's how she was. How she was. Why is she eating her wig? I because there's no way. And you would have
Yeah.
gotten off of that in court. Like my mom just died. My emotion. Like I am like
It was a crime of passion, Your Honor.
a, cr-
So sorry.
a crime of passion. And then unless you haven't want to speak on any of the other, um, like let me because please, this is about you, the audience hearing you. So
Oh,
I wanted to bring. I was going to bring up Cecil and Simone last, but if you want to speak on any of the other relationships, we can go right into them too. But Cecil, Simone, her boys, and then we find out she has gotten him the car. Thoughts?
got him a Tesla. I can't feel sorry for you anymore. Like, I am very much, once you show me that you're okay with your whatever is making you a victim, once you show me that you're okay with that and you're not trying to actively change that, I can no longer feel sorry for you. So next season, if we see another scene like the one we saw with Michael and him being disrespectful,
Girl.
I'm just gonna watch it and kind of move on. Because
Yeah.
even in that scene, when he said the thing about make sure whatever you're about to get off the iPad doesn't cause me to pick up your pasta and feed it to the dogs.
Like, who are you?
Um, uh, okay. She laughed at that though. She
Yeah.
laughed at that, and I'm like, my future children, because I don't have any yet, but I wish they would do
Girl.
that. I wish you're gonna disrespect me in my home, and I'm going to get my iPad because I'm considering buying you another car.
Right. And I'm trying to help you with your finances. The way Heavenly Son hasn't seen him in a year, that we might be on the same path. Because who are you talking to?
You as a mother, could
Ah,
you imagine your one of your children doing
baby.
you like that?
my youngest is 21, my son is 23, my oldest is 27. But you are a woman or a man in the street to me at this point. As much as we try to support, and then if they were to say something like that, like you have lost your mind. But then
Yeah.
I couldn't turn right around and because it doesn't even look like he's made an effort.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, he just got the car. And then Cecil sitting there looking like one of the kids. Like, well, he said God could take you today.
Now, why would
What?
you say that?
Why would you?
Why would you say? Because it's like, yeah, true, but like, it wasn't the time or the place for you to say that,
He said
Cecil.
it with emotion. Like,
Yes, you don't know that because God could take you away.
now, if she had a slumped over that table, then I would've been
Imagine he did it right then and there. Now what, Cecil? Now what, Cecil? Gosh. But see, Cecil's interesting to me because I think that when Ellen and I did our recap, I was saying that essentially Dr. Heavenly went on, she was on Carlos King's Patreon and she was just
Mhm.
saying like, you know, men are still men at the end of the day. So when you are with a woman who is a high earner like a doctor, um, a man still wants to be the head of his household. And like,
Okay.
men's a lot of men, their pride and their ego is attached to their money and their
Mm,
ability to provide, their ability to earn, right?
okay.
So Heavenly was like, Daddy works. Her husband, Dr. Damon Daddy. It always feels so awkward calling him that. But she was like, her husband works, right? So while she does make a lot of money, so does
So does
he.
he.
And I think the narrative around Cecil is that he does not provide anything, but Cecil actually set the record straight.
I
And
saw.
yeah, he was like, I was working in fine or working in tech or something like that. Like he's basically like, I didn't come into this with nothing, and I'm not doing anything right now. And
Yeah.
I think it's always gonna be hard when you are married to someone, you're a man married to someone like a doctor. Like,
Yes.
because it's always going to be looked at like, unless you're also a doctor or you're a high powered lawyer or you're like a
Yes.
tech billionaire, people are always going to look at you as if you don't make enough money. And I can only imagine the psychological toll that takes on a
Yes.
man, Dr. Jackie's husband, also. So I like that Cecil went out to try to set the record straight. Unfortunately, I think for a lot of the audience, they want to run with the narrative that Cecil is a loser.
Yeah.
Cecil is not a loser because I don't think Simone would have been with
Come
someone
on.
who was a loser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that. And I know we're not talking about Atlanta, but it's kind of the same narrative with Candy and Todd, right? Like everybody
Mm.
wants to talk about Todd. And this is not me defending
But
Todd because
yeah.
I've seen, I've
Yeah.
witnessed what we've all witnessed over the years.
Yes. Yeah.
But to act like somebody made a video and they were saying, well, Todd was a producer, so he probably was making 70 or 80K. Todd was a producer. He was clearing
Come
six
on.
figures. You know what I'm saying? Like that's very well known. Candy even said it in one of the episodes. He was making six figures, which was, even if it was just in the 100,000s, that's a decent salary for a single man 12
Yes.
years ago. He was living
Yes.
by himself. He owned a condo because we also saw in an episode they went to his condo that they were trying to sell. So he came into their relationship with his own property. He was making decent money and he didn't squander his marriage with Candy. While Candy was probably the bank for a lot of their
Yeah.
creative endeavors. If you guys know anything about Todd, Todd is very creative. Todd co-created the Encore with Carlos King.
Yes.
That was their
Yes.
show together. I think it was R&B Divas or Hollywood Divas
Yes.
did
Or
that with Carlos King. They did that together, right? So it's like we can't act because these men don't make the same amount of money as their very high powered wives that they're losers. It's not that black and white. And so I know I'm going on a long,
no,
long
I'm
tangent
with
about
you.
it. Yeah,
I'm
but I
glad
just
you
think
brought that up.
yeah, there's more nuance when we talk about the finances and the financial dynamics within these relationships, and I think that's one that we need to recognize with Cecil and Simone. Now, where I do think Cecil is he's very poor at having Simone's back when it comes to those boys.
Whew. The boys, and also look at she had to almost threaten to divorce him with Tammy.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
oh
so
God, I forgot about Tammy.
when is she first?
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I thought about, remember there was it their first or second season when Simone was losing all that money and Cecil was like, let me create the because of the program she was using or something. And
Mm.
he could have created that for her, but she didn't want him to or something because
Oh,
he
I
was
don't
in
remember
IT.
this.
It was because I meant to go back and watch, but basically he could have created it.
Yeah.
for her. But y'all correct me if y'all get to it before I go back and watch. But I thought that, but yeah, I'm with you on the whole. It's like people immediately categorize a man as a loser because he makes less money. And I, with Todd and Candy, I always say, Candy said on the show, I didn't want him traveling. She wanted him to quit his job. So he
Mm,
did.
yeah.
'Cause she didn't want him traveling to produce things. So, and like
Mm-hmm.
you said, Candy may be the financial backing, but he does seem creative. Now, does he want to get an extra generator? No. But he's
A business, a restaurateur, he might not be,
you're
but
right. But
he can create a show. He can create a
yes,
show.
yes. But so I'm with you on that. There's a lot of nuance. It's not just simply because they make less money.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
if there's nothing more on Married to Medicine, because look, I told Jasmine I wouldn't keep her all night. Salt Lake City, hit me, download me with your first thoughts that come to mind as it comes to Salt Lake City.
Okay, I have to tell you, I am newer to Salt Lake.
Okay.
Okay, here's my journey with Salt Lake. I started when it premiered. I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
Salt Lake City, cute." I started watching season 1, hated it. Could not stand it. I was like, "Pfft, not for me." So I was like, I do not spend time doing things that don't bring me joy. So I'm not
Same.
watching this show? So I didn't watch it. Years go by. All of a sudden, Salt Lake City is the tea. Everybody's like, this Salt Lake City is where it's at. It's the best housewives city. And I'm like, when we have my aunties over in Atlanta,
Come on.
Salt
That's
Lake's the best. Okay. So I was curious. I was curious. And then this season is happening, season 6. And everybody, like, it is the show on everyone's lips. So my curiosity got the best of me. I started watching season 6. And I'm like, oh, I can totally see why people are entertained by this. All
okay.
of these women are batshit crazy, but I want all of them to be my neighbors. Like, I want to live in a subdivision with all of them because it's constant entertainment. But then I was like, wait a minute. I heard about this Monica Garcia lady and Reality Von Teese. I need to see how that unfolds, I should say. So I go back and I watch season 4. And as I'm watching season 4, it hits me. I hated Salt Lake City because I hated Jen Shaw. Because I
Girl,
was watching season 4 and I was like, oh, I love this. Where have I been? What rock have I been hiding under? It was the rock of Jen Shaw. I
come
couldn't
on.
stand Jen Shaw. So season 4, she's not there. I watched season 4. I get to the end of season 4, the finale, receipts, proofs, timelines,
Timeline.
everything. I have a tear in my eye at the end of that finale. My fiance is sitting next to me because by the time we get to the penultimate episode of season 4, I'm telling him, I'm like, this girl, Monica, is trying to frame Meredith. She's sending these DMs and she's trying to act like Meredith sent them. He's like, what? That's crazy. He sits next to me. So we watched the last 2 episodes of season 4.
Okay.
Like I said, by the finale, tear in my eye. I'm like, this is fucking cinema. Where is the Emmy? And I looked at him. He's like, no, I can see why y'all watch this shit now. That was really good. So said all that to say, I had to walk you guys through my journey.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yes, I had to walk y'all through my journey. I'm currently on season 5, and I think I'm
Okay.
like maybe 4 or 5 episodes into season 5. So I tried to watch the latest episode so that I can come on here and talk to you about
Okay.
it. But I think I'm missing so much context that I don't know if it would be fair for
Okay.
me to talk about it. But I will say, I know everybody lives for Bronwyn.
I was
I'm
gonna
not.
ask you, what do you? That's who I was gonna, because I knew. Give it to me. Give it to
I
me.
don't. I'm not too sure about Bronwyn. I'm not too sure
Okay.
about Bronwyn. I think that she's certainly a cute woman. And when I say I'm not sure about her, I just mean in terms of I'm withholding any fan feelings that I might
Okay.
have for Bronwyn because I'm just observing her at the moment and where I'm at in season 5, she's in and I'm seeing the fashion. And I'm like,
Okay.
the fashion's good, but the fashion is wearing her. Like I'm not buying
Co-
that this is,
I
like
know
it's
what you mean. There's certain things it's like you can tell it's wearing the person. I 1000% get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's fab, but I'm also like, I don't know if you really feel as fab
Yes.
in this,
Yes.
right? So I think she's a very interesting character, but I will say I think she's a great addition to
Yes.
Salt Lake City. And now everything that's coming out with her husband,
Oh,
it's
child.
dramatic. Yeah, it's dramatic. Her mom, what I'm hearing about her mom, that story is
Yeah.
interesting. So I think she's a great addition. I'm just like I'm not gagging just yet with Miss Bronwyn.
There's some things that she has done that have made me side eye and lets me know. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a housewife because, like, when people say, "Oh, they just want to be a housewife," well, yeah, and we want to watch them. Like, so that's
Yeah,
normal. But I know she wants to be a housewife, if you know what I
for
mean. It's
sure.
like,
Hmm.
okay, I see all of this. So, there's a couple of different things. It's like she knows how to put herself, create a situation, kind of like be the victim, but then also fix it at the same time. So it's kind of like you got to be careful with people like that. Like, did you see the episode of this season when she did the tea party?
No, and I really want to get to the episode because
Okay,
I too have a
I'm not
George
supposed to say
Washington
anything.
wig. And I'm like, the bitches stole my look. They stole my
She said, "We're going to go back to 1778." I said, "Mary, don't go.
look. Don't don't
Don't go."
go.
But okay, how far are you in this? Okay, because I want to ask you, did you see anything about how Meredith was acting on the flight? Did you see any of those episodes when they talked about Meredith was like erratic
Yeah,
and screaming?
blacked out. Yeah, that's this season, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So I've seen some of the episodes when they, because this was after they were coming from the below deck thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I watched the below deck episode. I
Okay.
know, don't judge me. I watch stuff out of order, which is also why I don't really care about spoilers because I'm like,
Me
especially
neither. I
with
don't
this,
care about
I'm watching
spoilers
it out
either.
of order. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen the episodes with the below deck thing. Because yeah, there was a situation on the boat where Brittany told Bronwyn something, and then the next day Bronwyn was like, "Well, Brittany said X, Y, and Z," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"You
And
just
that's
blasted her."
so when I don't know if you saw the after effects when they got off, when they came back, and all the ladies are meeting with each other talking about Meredith's behavior. And
Mhm.
and Whitney and Bronwyn sat down and they were going back and forth talking about their marriages, having a deep conversation.
And she wanted to have an arrangement with her husband.
And
Yeah.
then she
Mhm.
goes back and tells Meredith what Whitney said about her. And then says when you watch, since you don't care about spoilers, when you watch the Tea Party, it was kind of like, Whitney was like, even though we know we're filming, of course, right? But Whitney's like, you took a private conversation that I told you. Well, don't get mad at me. If you didn't want it said, you should have told it strictly to Meredith. And I was like, now hold on. Because y'all were having a moment bonding about your marriage, bonding about,
Mhm.
marrying these older men, blah, blah, blah. And you try to flip, and she did that last season. It was like, I went back and told somebody you said something, but don't make this, but it's not about me. You said it, girl. And I was like, now, Bronwyn, I didn't necessarily like that.
She overproduces a little bit in that regard, and I think it shatters the illusion because we know at this point a lot of these women aren't really friends. A lot of them do not speak until cameras pick them
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
But when you do that, you shatter the illusion of this being a friend group because you are showing us you have no loyalty to anyone, and like you is very Giselle from Potomac. I don't
Come
have
on.
loyalty to anyone. It's like I'm just here to create a good show. Now, we can appreciate that when like it's entertaining, but in the back of our minds, it's shattering, it's taking us out of the fantasy of you guys all actually being friends with each other.
So speaking of Potomac, unless you have more to say about Salt Lake City, we can
No,
jump into
but I am
Potomac.
gonna keep watching because y'all were right.
So you're gonna
Y'all were
have to come
right.
back for like the reunion.
Yeah, yeah, I will. I would love
Okay.
to.
Y'all heard it on record. Like I said, this isn't good. I know this isn't gonna be Jasmine's last time. I always have I feel like I'm very good at meeting people and feeling like we're gonna have, even if say like if we disagree about this, like it's gonna be
Hmm.
fun on the podcast. And everyone that I've had on, I always want on again because it's like great,
Yes,
Now, and
same.
I'm very honest when people say I don't want to be right all the time. No, I do want to be right about but I know I'm not. That's the thing, right? So at least I'm aware
Yeah.
enough to know. Okay. So speaking of Giselle and Potomac, I've said that I don't like watching my housewives how I used to do back in the day, walk into work and punch a time clock, do my
Hmm.
job and punch out. I
Hmm.
don't like that. Um, and recently when she did her butter event, shout out to Purple Panda Pants on Reddit, Chantel, she was at Wendy's hearing. She asked Giselle some questions and she was filming and so her stuff was what was put out
Hmm.
like on different platforms and you may
Oh,
have
was
seen
that
it.
when Giselle was like sitting in a chair and
Yes.
okay, yep, I saw those clips.
And
Sorry to
she
cut you off.
No, no, please, energy anytime, please. This because I don't want to. They all know my opinion. I want to hear your opinion. But I thought this was interesting when she said after the show is like basically, I don't give a ish. I don't care. And it's like we can see that you're there to make a show. Why
Hmm.
we want that to be in the back of our minds, not on the forefront of our minds. Speaking of, so what do you think about Potomac thus far, and what has changed for you over the years in terms of whether the show is good, whether it's bad, whether it's not getting its footing, whether you feel like it's getting its footing back? Give me all the thoughts on Potomac.
Yeah, well, to that point with Giselle saying that, she actually said that before. She said that on Reality with the King when Carlos had her on like a couple years ago.
That's
She
right.
was on the show and she said it, and I was actually shocked when, and I'm only bringing it up not to say like, oh, she said it already, but it was
No.
more because when she said it the first time on Reality with the King, I remember being like, I didn't want to know that about you. Like she was like, I don't think about this show. She was like, when I get done filming, I go home with my girls. I don't think about it anymore. And I'm like, I didn't want to know that,
Yeah.
right? Because that took me out of the fantasy. Like, dang. So for you, this really is a job. And that's why you don't care about ruining anybody's lives for the
Whew.
sake of entertainment. And like that to me, while it can make for really good TV, it's a very slippery slope because I'll never forget what she tried to do with Chris
Come
Bassett.
on.
That could have gotten so dangerous, so out of hand. I'm glad it didn't, but
Yeah.
like that was dark to me, you know? And I think that's rolling into your other question about like how I think the show has been and has it found its footing. I'll be completely honest. I don't know that outside of Salt Lake City, I don't know that the Housewives as a franchise, this is across cities, I don't know that it's been really good in a really long time.
Hmm.
Like I think the golden years have passed with most of the cities. You know, I think we are
Mm.
watching them at this point. We know we're going into the 20th year of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Like
Yes.
that I'm not even 40 yet. Okay? So that 20 years of Housewives, these ladies have been in my life for a really now I am close to it, but I'm not yet. But these ladies have been in my life 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember the first time I was introduced to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, my mom was watching it and my mom
How
tells
dare you? No, no, I'm
not in that
joking. No,
way.
no, I'm not,
I'm like, no,
I'm
not in
messing.
that way. Not in that way. I'm no spring chicken.
No, I'm
Okay.
messing with you. No,
I'm in my
for real,
late
I'm
30s.
messing with you.
But my mom goes, it's a show about mind you, we're
Look,
from Milwaukee. My mom goes, it's a show about these rich women in Atlanta. And there's two women on there. One is named Nene, and she's so funny. She's so confident. She's like, and her friend is Sheree. You know, Sheree, she's beautiful, but she's not as funny or as confident as Nene. So I'm watching it. And that's where my Nene Leaks obsession started because my mom was gagged. Like, these ladies in Atlanta.
you're not your mom hitting it on the head,
Oh,
literally.
my mom should have in another lifetime my mom would be a world-class psychologist. Like she can watch that's where I get my obsession with TV from. And books, honestly. My mom can watch a TV show and she's dissecting literally like she's clocking everything. That's why I watch TV the way I do. It's not because I
Oh
work
my.
in entertainment, it's because I literally grew up with somebody that like my mom can watch TV for days at a time. She does not, she just needs some food. She just
And
needs to
she's
know
good.
her
Yes,
kids are good.
yes,
She's like, I
yes.
don't need to see the outside world. I'm locked in.
I'm good. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, so said all that to say, they've it's been on the air for so long and it's unrealistic to think that a show that's been around for this long would be good all the time. So I
Yes,
think
I
we're
agree.
now in an you know, an era of the housewives where we're coasting with it and we're allowing it
Okay.
to exist in the pop culture zeitgeist because it has for so long and it's such a phenomenon and these women have become icons, right? Like
Okay.
you talked about like we know a lot of these women want to be housewives. Everybody wants to be a
Yeah.
housewife. If you were approached tomorrow to be a real housewife, I'm willing to bet my home 95% of people would say yes because it's a very exclusive club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an elite club at this point. But yeah, I don't know that it's good. I don't know that Potomac.
Yeah.
I think Potomac's having a better season than they've had in a long time.
Yes.
I'm enjoying it. Is it good? I don't know if I would say that.
I call it my cotton candy. When you go to the boardwalk, if you like cotton candy
Hmm.
is not something I eat all the time, but it's like it's light, it's fluffy. It doesn't satiate anything. It doesn't
Right.
fill me, but I enjoy it while I'm eating it. And
I
that's what
love that.
it's my cotton candy.
I love that. For me, it's popcorn.
Okay,
Cause
gotcha. Okay.
I haven't had cotton candy in a really long time, so I don't remember how I feel about it, honestly. But popcorn.
I'm gonna bring you some when we come watch
Mm.
movies.
Yes, yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, popcorn for me, right? Like I like popcorn and I like to eat it when I'm watching TV, but like it doesn't do much for me. So that's a really good analogy. I like that. And I think because at the beginning of the season, like I'm on record saying that this season is good. So
Hmm.
I wanna say that,
Yes.
but I'm also somebody is day by day with or week by week in terms of this show, right? So as I'm watching it now, I'm like, oh, we're like 12 episodes in. We're still talking about like the catfish
Come
thing.
on,
Like
come on.
we're still talking about certain things that happened earlier in the season. That's my first signal that like there's not a lot going on here and there's not a lot that's gonna come. So that's why I'm kind of like, okay, they started out good. Now it's just, Stacy and the Stacey-ettes at this point.
I think that might need to be the episode title. Hold on. Let me text that to my you going about to hear me. I'm about to text that um to myself. I got a text, but it's one of them. It said Amazon stopped breaking the law, but it wants me to add my name to a class action. I was like, wait, what? Or some I
It's a
thought it was saying
scam.
I was breaking the law. What is happening?
No, do not get scammed. They're trying anything.
Okay, wait, watch this. This is how because I act like I can't write or text anymore. Stacy and the Stay-ettes episode title with Jazz. Now I gotta put Stay-ettes because Siri is racist and doesn't understand black voices. That
Yep.
in my mind.
They, the state Siri would not know Stacey-ettes.
She was like, what is that? But that is such a good thing. Oh, okay. While we're here, before I forget the Ashley of it all, I've never, ever, 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 ever had an inkling of a thing for Ashley. She has always been to me. I tried with her, I did. And I said, well, maybe I could like her if her and Candace, um, maybe if they make their way to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I even
Right.
said, maybe they could be friends because I was trying to make myself see something for her because so many
Mm-hmm.
people loved her. I can't. And I want to read this to you. Have you seen how Charisse is now changing her tune about what Ashley
No.
revealed? Okay.
To be, while you're looking for that, that's one thing that in this content creation game, I'm learning what I'm really good at and what I'm not good at. I'm really good in conversation. I watch the episodes, but I'm very much like Giselle. When the episode is done, I am not looking for these people. Like
I know what you mean.
like, your Wendy coverage has literally been all over. So I'm seeing, obviously I'm engaged in that because I'm seeing it, but like I don't go looking for it.
I
So
know what
if
you mean.
Cherie says something, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I'm not good at that part.
it came across my time, you know, how on your For You page.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, wait, what is this? Okay. This shout out to the Peach Report. Someone commented, like they posted the scene of Ashley revealing that.
Hmm.
I totally understand your point of view, and you're right. So, okay, wait, I'm sorry. She says, I honestly didn't believe it. This is what Cherie said. One thing I know for sure is that no matter how I respond, people will take issue. I have not been edited to represent my real personality over the years. At this point, I am 60. I didn't know she was 60. I did said, okay, shout out to you.
Yes, because she looks amazing.
Yeah, she said, I'm 60 and just want to pop in and have fun with this group of ladies. I don't mind meaningful conversations, but to flip out just for cameras over fake or petty issues is not my thing. Somebody said, I told Terralyn.n. I totally understand your point of view, and you're right. No matter what, we do enjoy seeing you from time to time. I thought that was fun. Was that shade? Okay.
A little
Re-
bit.
Regardless, whether or not it happened, her even suggesting it did on camera, in my opinion, was a way to embarrass you. I have a 24-year-old son, and if someone said something like that to me, I would find it highly disrespectful. She's not your friend, but I'm assuming you already know that with a heart. Cherie said, you make a valid point. I can see the disrespect now. At the time of filming, I didn't believe it. One thing I do know for certain is that there are no real friendships in this business.
Hmm. That's interesting because to be honest with you, I don't feel like Ashley was like purposely trying to disrespect Charisse. Do I think she was trying to
Make a
mm,
moment.
she was trying to make a moment, and I think she thought it was like a cute, funny thing. Like, there she, I don't know. I don't know though. I don't know though, because I'm historically not a fan of Ashley.
Whew.
She's very slimy to me,
Come
and
on,
I
slimy.
don't like a slimy person. There are things that I recognize with Ashley that I'm like, okay, over the years the show has needed. There was a time
Yeah.
when I was like, she's a very necessary evil for the show because she'll get the party started. She
Yes.
will carry the bones. Like, she's gonna be messy. And you need people like that from time to time. But she's
Yeah.
also very dark, and like she takes things to a level that they don't need to be taken to.
Come on.
And so that's why I've just historically not really seen it for her. I've also always said she's a beautiful woman. Like,
Same.
you know,
Yes.
I appreciate the fact that she, you know, grew up in poverty, and she's like, I never want to go back to that life. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna date. I'm gonna marry up and continue to marry up.
I'm a sleep up.
Yep.
Oh no, Mary. Nope. Okay, actually, Mary, because she did marry him. I take that back.
She
She did
did
marry
marry
him. So
him. She
you're
did
right.
marry him.
You're right. You're
But you
right.
know, that's all. That's all I'm gonna give her. Okay. But yeah, in this situation, because Ashley is a little slimy to me, I thought that she thought it was cute to say that I kissed your son.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to like disrespect or belittle
Same.
you,
Yes.
but I thought she was just like, oh, this is a cute thing. I hooked up with your son, because she implied in the scene like it might have been a little more.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so yeah, I just thought it was gross though, because I'm like, that's your friend's son at the end of the day. I don't care how cute he is, because he is cute. He is cute.
He
But
is cute.
I said this on the episode with Carlos J.
Carlos. Yep.
Harris. Yeah. Cute man walking into a bar. Cool. You see him, you have a night. Do what you
Have at
gotta do. Have many nights. Sharice's son walking into a bar, buy his little ass a drink and keep it moving. That's your friend's son.
when
You've
you.
known him since he was a kid. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I cut you off. I was gonna say when you said that on your podcast, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. She was, that to me was just, it wasn't cute, and it was just, it's kind of nasty, because imagine the roles being reversed
"Oh,
and
come on."
Ashley being a man and Sharice's daughter, right? Like coming in saying, oh yeah, I hooked up with your daughter. My daughter that you've known since she was 15 or 16 years old. Have you been looking at her like that since she was a minor? Like, those are all the questions now that you have to
Yes.
ask about Ashley. And I thought it was mighty convenient. And I think I saw somebody else make this point on Twitter. Giselle, just a couple episodes ago, was saying that watch Stacey. Stacey can't be trusted around husbands and children. Ashley
Come
cannot be
on.
trusted around, in the words of Kay, hide your coochie, hide your sons, hide your daddies.
That was good. That was good. Because that's another way that Ashley and Giselle are both dangerous. Why would you make a statement like that about Stacey? Ashley saying that Bobby sounded like he had a
He
temper.
had a
Girl,
temper.
where did that
Yeah.
come from?
Yes, they're trying to lay breadcrumbs for things that could really snowball and
Yeah.
get out of control and ruin people's lives. And that's where the show stops being fun. And
Yes.
it stops being fun and starts getting real. Okay. In the
Yes.
words of the
It's
real
like,
world. Yeah, it's kind of gross. So I wasn't feeling, I mean, I'm never really feeling
yeah,
Ashley,
right.
but I was really like, girl, you're nasty. I'm never
Yes.
kissing my friend's son. I don't care.
I like at the end of the episode, Wendy said, or when they were at the end of their event, Wendy said, I know none of y'all better be kissing my sons. Like, because legit, 20 years from now, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It could be the same thing. I was outdone.
20 years from now, Ashley will take her dentures out and try to kiss on one of Wendy's sons.
One
And
of them.
then Wendy's going to have to see about you. But yeah, no, that's gross. That's gross.
So gross. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, come on, Ashley. Like, and then but Sharice now seeing it, I said, Sharice, you thought it was funny with you and your lingerie at the game at the event. You thought it was funny. But
Because
okay.
she wants to get, in the words of Carlos J. Harris, her promomo.
Yes. Even though she acts like she just wants to pop in from time to time. No.
She would jump at the opportunity to be back on the cast full time, I think. Like, you're around too much for you to not still desire that.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Cause also, to Sharice's point, in the moment, she's probably, maybe she's recognizing this as like, my son is very grown,
Okay. Yeah.
you
And I don't
know?
have nothing to do with it. So I'm gonna mind my
Yeah,
business.
I don't know. I don't know, because I feel like, as a mom, your kids are grown, but they're still always your kids. So I would
Yeah.
feel away and be like,
And this is
that's
my
kind of
friend.
yeah.
That's like totally different.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know though, because I mean, she would. I'm I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
Okay, you have to tell me offline. Okay.
Okay.
And shout out to my boo, the Brooke Ashley. She tweeted, I knew exactly what she meant when she said it. She tweeted, this reminds me of when Karen told Ashley to stay away from Raven.
See, that's why Karen is the mother of Potomac.
I
She had
said,
the foresight to get this charlatan, this
out of here,
trollop,
out
keep
of
her
here.
away from Raven.
Yes. I responded and said, I did scream out loud. I said, because I know what you were thinking when you tweeted this.
I like the Brooke Ashley a lot. I just met her recently. She's really cool.
Isn't she? She's really
Like
funny.
virtually met her. Yeah, she's super
Yeah.
cool.
She cracks me up because she is just very much like this is how I feel. This is what it is. And that's just that on that.
Yeah.
And
I love
I'll
that.
text her and be like, girl, I'm literally screaming. Or you know how you're recapping these shows and you might not can't quite say, you know how we say we like dark jokes, right? Some things you have to say in a text message that you
Mm-hmm.
just cannot say online. It's like
100. I
because
have group
the
chats.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, should I put this in my phone? What if they go through my phone one day? Then they'll just go through it, honey.
That's one of my biggest fears. Or not even that people will go through my phone or that like my sister and my best friends that they will turn on me one day and release everything I've ever said. I'm like, I know there's no world in which they would do that,
But
but
it's
they could take me down.
like they might be like, one, two, three, release them. And then Jazz had some things that she needed to
Liter
say.
oh girl, it would be over. I have a group chat, me, one of my best friend Alex and our friend D-Ray. We have a group chat specifically for Martin Luther King Jr. and we only ever send stuff about MLK. And I'm like, all you have to do is show people that and they would be like, get this bitch out of here. Get her
I
out of here.
kind of feel like I wonder if I probably know some of the things you probably sent because as you get older and learn things, you're like,
It's
hmm,
it's probably everything you're thinking
okay.
and then worse.
I love the fact that it's titled Martin Luther King.
Well, actually, we're called Daddy's Angels. That's what the group chat is
I
called.
love that.
Daddy's
And then it's the topic. And look, I'm telling you, yeah, my phone sometimes I'm like, oh shoot. Like,
Angels.
yeah. Or I'll tell my husband, delete that. Like, this text will self-destruct
Right.
and I'll know how many seconds. And then I
Yeah.
have to double back to make sure I'm texting the right person. I'm like, oh, I text my sister-in-law by accident one time, something I meant to text my husband about her. And when he was taking a long time to respond, I was like,
Oops.
and then I text her and said, that wasn't for you, that was your brother. But I just have to be honest and say, this is how I feel. I mean, what else could I do?
At that point, you have to own it. At that
Yeah.
point, you have to own it.
Yeah. I said she all in Ross by sending me pictures of shoes, but she said she ain't got no money for this wedding. We were in her other sister's wedding. Oh, I can't get my this. And her sister was getting upset. So I stepped in like, nah, you need to be on your stuff. Then you sending me pictures of shoes and earrings that you just bought out of Ross. So I meant to send it to him. But
Mm-hmm.
she paid for her stuff.
I was gonna say
So,
sometimes, hey, that tough love is needed at some point.
but girl, my heart was in my behind. I was like,
Yeah, because is she gonna cuss you out? Is she gonna punch you when she sees you next? Like, what? How is she gonna react to
how is
this?
this gonna go? Right. This is
Yeah.
his sister that I'm talking about to him, but it's still his sister. Yeah.
And however she reacts, you deserve it.
All
'Cause
right. That I can't even look, I have to be like, then I'd be like Toya and find a reason that she did something to be mad so that I could justify my anger for
yes.
something that I did. Like, you're 1000% right. Oh my gosh. Okay, Angel. Because I enjoyed you and Carlos's. Y'all, if y'all have not checked out Jazz, make sure you go to her YouTube channel. It's called Channel Surf. She has had our girl Elle on. She had Carlos on. I really enjoyed your conversation about
Yeah.
Angel.
Yeah, I think that Angel, I've all season not been on her side, because I think
Shame.
she's having a rough season, but I think that because she's having such a rough season, and we know this upcoming Colorado trip is about to be the trip from hell for her, I do think though it's gonna cause the audience to start changing their opinions on her because We want to see shade, we want to see drama. We do not want to see a dead horse be beaten to death. And like we're
Mhm.
already getting sick of the catfish thing. They brought her down to the rec center for the field day, the indoor field day, and
Pause.
embarrassed her. Okay.
I gotta pause you. I text Carlos and said, not Jazz giving honor to Robin for
It
the
was
field day.
sarcastic. It
I
was
no, no,
sarcastic.
I knew it, but the way you said it was so funny. I said I had to pause me listening to y'all to come tell you. I was cracking up. When you said that, I was like, that is so good. I wish I'd have thought about it. That is so good.
Robin's impact because
Yeah.
she had a field day and now it's a mainstay. It's a staple on the show now.
Wait, because Karen had one last season when she
The-
had the river. Boom. Okay.
Listen, start calling it Robin's Field Day. That's what we're gonna start calling
Okay,
this,
that's good.
Robin's Field Day. But yeah, when they had her at Robin's Field Day, uh, they embarrassed her in front of her husband with the catfish thing. We're
Mm,
talking about her being evicted while she was holding her daughter, in the words of Teresa Judice. Like they were all they've been just doing too much
yeah.
with Angel. And Angel has also shown that like she's not the type of person who can take the shade and let it roll off of her back. It's
Mm-mm.
actually affecting her. She holds on to it. So when you have somebody like that, you have to understand the limit of like your teasing. There is a point where you say, okay, I'm gonna lay off of Angel for a little bit because she's not really built like the rest of these people are. Stacey, you can do this shit to Stacey all season.
And she,
And right, and she's laughing it off. Angel's not that person, but they keep doing it because they see that she's an easy mark. We as an
mm.
audience are going to start being like, we don't like people being bullied and like treated like that and trampled over. Maybe I do fuck with Angel. Maybe I do like her house. Hell, I know I like her husband. No disrespect. We know her husband is
Mhm.
is attractive, right? And no disrespect to her husband, to her or my man
Right.
either.
I know. Yeah.
But like
Yep.
the audience, yeah, the
Yes.
audience is already like, okay, Bobby's attractive. Like she's a wag. She has a lifestyle that like we should be seeing on the Real Housewives. So I think they are going to force the audience to
Mm.
turn the tide on Angel, and especially if Angel comes to this reunion, guns a blazing. If Angel comes and has a Portia level
Oh,
reunion, remember
yeah.
Portia's first season when she was almost
Yes.
gonna be gone? And Cordell is not perfect by
Oh,
far.
fuck.
And the producer said, get that bitch another season.
Yeah.
Okay. If Angel comes with that level of performance, or she comes with the level of smoke as Monique's binder to the reunion, second season. She's getting another
Yes.
season. And then that second season, she knows how the game works now. She can
Yeah.
practice her reads. You know what I'm saying? Like she can do some self-development in the comedy area. And she could potentially have a much better
Better
season.
season.
So we'll see.
I agree with you. And I said the only but Angel, the thing for me was the Wendy thing. I was like, it's weird because you want Giselle to big sis you so bad, and she's the one that's coming for you. And I
Mhm.
always maintain my listeners are gonna be like, Taria, you've said this 1,000 times. When Wendy straight up asked you why you had different energy, you said because you can. Okay, then Wendy can say and do whatever. But I was even, as much as I have not agreed with Angel and been on her side this season, to me, it was like enough. Like she's here with her husband. She almost looked defeated in a
She
way.
did.
Like
She did.
it was like, come on. And then when she was trying to talk to Tia and Giselle was like, Angel, I know you have a lot of things to say. I said, see,
Yeah.
like it was like enough. And to your point, the same thing with some audience. I know not the whole, but
Mhm.
happened with Candace. When the whole Chris thing and Giselle, people didn't like it. And what happened? They ended up coming around. The people that some that didn't like Candace were like, oh, you know what? And they kind of came to Candace's side. So that makes sense. What you said, like, we're going to get it, like, it's enough,
Mhm.
enough.
Yep.
It's almost like, all right, we've taken her down how many pegs? How much more, can you? Because even Kay wasn't really saying anything at the table. It was just like,
Which was so fake to me
that's
because
what I
of
would have been like, yo, my friend, I'm sorry, I cut you off because
no, no, no. You're good. You're good. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're
the
good.
evicted thing just pissed me off because once again, you're trying to put out a narrative that it isn't. She
Mhm.
was not evicted.
Mhm.
Her lease
Yeah.
was up that she thought had different dates.
Now that is why now that I'm gonna question, like, you gave the wrong incorrect dates, but that's not the same as being evicted. Even Ashley asking, was Angel broke? Like,
Yes. I was like, come on.
Ashley,
How dare
Ashley,
you?
Ashley, of
How
all
dare you?
people, asking if someone was broke. Okay, girl. Okay, but yeah, with Angel, mm, she has the potential to have a better season. Now, does she have the potential to be a really good housewife? I don't know, but I think that she could have a redemption season for sure. Even if she only gets 2 seasons with Potomac, I think she could have a better season, a better go at it round 2. But I'm indifferent. If they fire her, I don't care
That's
either.
that's how
You
I
know.
feel. It's like no Lola. Okay. I will say this. When you and Carlos were talking, I was thinking about this. If, because Carlos had said if Wendy is gone, then Ashley's probably gone too.
Hmm.
I said if Wendy came back, would they bring Angel back specifically? Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. Look, that's my 8 o'clock alarm. See, I didn't think, my bad. Would he take y'all can take a shot every time you listen to an episode and my alarm went off. I have 19,000 alarms, but that's my prayer for my kids every night at 8. So I just say a quick prayer and keep it moving. But,
Oh, do you need a moment? Because I'll pray for the kids with you. Jazz loves the kids and she loves the Lord. So I will pray for the kids with
you have just taken me out. Now I want the episode title, Do You Need a Moment? Oh, that was, see, this is why I knew this is why we would connect the timing. Chef's kiss. You said, Do you need a moment? I got it. I said it in my head, child. I got him. I said it in my head.
good, amazing. I love
That was
that.
so funny. Oh my God. Wait, get back on track. That was truly funny. But who are we talking about? Look, that's how not important. I mean, it is important, but we're
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
Angel.
Yeah.
Either way, Ashley, I don't want to, I don't like saying, it's hard for me to say, oh, I don't like to see like I want somebody off my screen because I know that means they're check.
Mm.
And I don't want anybody, whether I like you or not, I wouldn't want anybody to not have a check. So what I'll say
Hmm.
is I want Ashley to make whatever she's making on Potomac somewhere else, not on a TV screen.
Find a man or a woman
Yeah.
with the coin and just go away. Because, yeah, Ashley,
It's just,
there's
she's
no
back with
need anymore.
Josh. Okay.
We can offline about that.
Okay. Wendy, her mom, the scene, her sister, your thoughts. I promise I'll have you out of here in 15 minutes.
Oh no,
Your
you're
thoughts.
fine. You're fine. Yeah, that was a really hard scene to watch. I pointed out, I understand there's some cultural differences, and I'm
That's,
starting to see way more videos and posts from West African people, just like, basically, y'all American niggas, y'all will never
yes.
understand what went down, but what went down, that's how we do things in our culture. And who am I to say that it's wrong or right? I will say that's not my experience. My parents don't treat, I'm 37 years old. My parents would never treat me like that. Like, they recognize
Same.
me. I am their child, but I am a grown woman. I'm an
Yes.
adult with my own life. We are going to talk to each other as adults talk
Yeah.
to each other, right? And so that's why I just couldn't understand. I'm like, damn, Wendy, stand up, do more. But according to other Nigerian people, she couldn't. Even when Eddie came out, when they brought Eddie out and he
Bring
came out,
Eddie out.
yeah, and he was trying to diffuse the situation, I was looking at the screen like, this lady is disrespecting your wife
In your house.
in your house. Stand up more.
Yeah.
Apparently, he did as much as he could do. That in their culture, he could have never raised his voice
Yep.
at her mother and gotten away with this. So I understand. Again, I talked about this on Channel Surf. My fiance's mom is from Panama. Similar, not similar dynamic, because she doesn't get disrespectful, but she has, like, if my fiance has said something, she's like, "Wait, I'm your mother."
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So they take, I thought it was an immigrant thing, but then Carlos J. Harris talked about Mama Joyce and how Mama Joyce would do that to Candy.
Mm.
Then we were like, "Oh, she's Southern. Maybe it's a regional thing." I don't know, but it was a hard watch. I think Wendy has a lot of issues that she needs to work through with just her
Same.
need to like seek approval, her need to be impressive all the time to everyone, to her own detriment, the
Yep.
detriment of her family, right?
Yep.
This whole thing with her father. So much we're learning about Wendy, but everything that we are learning about Wendy makes Wendy make sense to me. Like this
Yes.
situation that she's in right now, this makes so much sense to me.
People are saying that the pressure that comes from Nigerian families, they've said it makes sense to them. And I recently discovered, I don't know if I want to call it a Nigerian TikTok. There were daughters posting voice notes from their moms that were Nigerian, and their moms were the way Wendy's mom talked to her, it was the same. And then they posted, but this is how she talks to my brother. And it was totally different. And they were,
Mm,
and I, as you saw the same thing. This is not Nigerian culture because at first, black folks sometimes we're like, we know black mamas are different, we know, but then when you get into culturally, I was like, oh, so I felt like you. I'm like, I can't even really. I can say from the outside looking in, but it's not something I can really speak to or even condemn, if you will, if that is a part of their culture. I may not agree with it, but who am I
sure.
to say? And it, so and especially again, it brought me back to the Nigerian TikToks that I watched and was like, wow, okay. And I do, when the mom was saying shut the F up, I was like, whoo, that's rough because I don't,
Yeah. You know, in my own
in
home,
my house that I pay for.
in my own home,
And I
all the
pay, and
student
I,
allowance.
that's what I would, something y'all talked about Wendy and the little girl that you see in her.
Yes.
I said that the first time I saw her in person, her first court date. There was, if you saw her, I actually saw the Karen slither. Karen was talking about, she slithered up to that table the first time
With the saunter.
with her first stole, and she put her hand, as she was standing at the table, put her one hand in the pocket, and she did it this time too. This time, her and Eddie had to sit at their lawyer's table when they were called up. She did the same thing. She got up, she stuck that one hand in the pocket, and she sauntered up there with her suit and her Louboutins. Um,
Tone
but
it down, baby
tone
girl.
it down. When I seen that first stole the first time, I said, but what I noticed about her, because she kept looking back both times to see, there's a part of me, and Wendy, if you're watching, I do support you, boo. It's rough because it's like, I can admit I don't want them to go to jail. But you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, oh, but there's a part of me that truly believes she likes this attention.
Ooh.
There's a small part of me because the way she kept looking back to see who was in that courtroom the first time and then the second time, I don't know if you've seen it, if ABC has even posted it. I have a video of her and Eddie standing behind her lawyer when her lawyer was talking to ABC News. I'm gonna send it to you. I want you to pay attention to her face. She was looking at me, and shout out to Paging Dr. Pam. She has a YouTube channel, and Chantel. We were the YouTubers there. She was looking at us the entire time. And she looked back so many times in court that when she looked up like the third time, I said, and she went, and because she was sitting this way and I was behind her, she said, so there's
Wait.
a part of me that feels like, oh, I hope y'all ain't see my nipple. I don't have no bra on. But if so, my daughter, my 21-year-old mom, nobody cares about nipples now. I said, well, I got to get used to that because okay. Um, but there's a part of me that definitely believes she's liking this attention, which is why she came beat to the gods the way she did. I'm going to send you that video. But going back to what you and Carlos talked about, the little girl, one thing that struck me
Mm-hmm.
was when I saw her that first time, I said, she's gorgeous in person. Her eyes to me were the eyes of a little girl, but everything else was armor. But she was
Yes.
actually a little girl inside that was scared. And I mean, her eye, it was her, it's still stick. I can still recall back. Her eyes were so striking, and I felt like I was looking at a little, like inside of her at a little girl. So
You
when y'all
were.
said that, I was like,
That's it. And the point that you brought up about her maybe liking this attention, because now it's all about her, where we've seen it's never been all about
Mhm.
her. In her father's eyes, it's never been all about her. She said that her mom and her sister always gang up on her, so she's never felt like it's been all about her. I think Eddie is a great husband, so I'm sure in that dynamic it has
Mhm.
been all about her, but now they have three children, so it's not all about you. When you
Yes.
have children in the mix, you're on this show with these other beautiful, accomplished women. It's not all about you. You are sharing the spotlight at every turn. And now this is all about you. And it's negative and it could ruin your life,
Yes.
but it's yours.
But it's yours. It's when you said
Mm,
that about her being on the show, I like how you said it's never been all about her, even on this show. And if people wanted to line up yeah, all the women are accomplished, but if people were to line up their credentials, in her mind, she may think, well, I'm the most credentialed, so it would be about me. It's still not,
it's
even
not.
though. So that is such a good point, Jasmine. It's
Mm-hmm.
never been just all about her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know my TV is not. Can you see? Can you see what's on it?
Just the bottom. Nope. I can literally
Okay.
just see the little black
Yeah,
line.
I don't need YouTube trying to flag me, talking about I'm playing. Hold on, playing something I ain't supposed to play. I can't believe I forgot to turn it off. But that is such a good point.
Yeah, I think I mean you opened that up though, saying that you think she might like that attention. I wasn't even thinking about that, but saying that, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, maybe she does." Cuz this is her moment in the sun.
Shout out to Dr. Pam. The first time we went, as we once Eddie and Wendy got up to leave, we got up to leave right behind them, and Pam was like, "You got this." She was like, "Thank you."
Damn. Yeah, this is a messed up
It's
situation.
so messed up.
It's so messed up. I feel so sorry for the children.
Yes.
Um, I think also just really quick, way back to your point when you're talking about her mom and like the culture and stuff like that. I wanted to make a point. Remember we were talking about Simone and like once you are okay with being a victim, I can't feel sorry for you. That's
Hmm.
how I feel with Wendy now. I'm like, okay, if this is your culture, if this is Nigerian culture, if we see another scene like this, I just kind of got to let it go because that's
Hmm.
just how you guys are. But yeah, I feel sorry for everybody in this situation. I feel sorry for the children. I feel sorry for Eddie because I feel like Eddie is one of those ride or die husbands. And I could be wrong. This could have all been his big idea. But based on what we've seen, Eddie might just be one of those ride or die husbands that Wendy was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what I need. And he was just like, I'm rolling with you, you know? And I feel bad that he may have gotten wrapped up in this, but if it was flipped around, I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for everyone.
Everybody,
And then she's having such a good
good
season.
season.
I don't please do not go to Sing Sing Wendy because we
Jazz.
need you. She is having a stellar season.
Jazz, before they went to court, I said, you know what, Eddie's quiet, laid back. This could have been his idea, and she just rolled along with it. And I referenced, remember last season they had the couples thing at Karen's, and he said, when I say come to the edge of the bed, I pull you to the edge of the bed. I said maybe that was his edge of the bed, like this what we gonna do.
Oh my goodness.
Now watching her
Hmm.
in person and watching her almost vamp when you could be going to jail, I told Kempire, I started thinking, is she behind it? It really painted it. Eddie looked scared as well too, obviously, but not like Eddie wasn't making eye contact.
Hmm. Because he's not trying to be in the spotlight right now.
Pretty
He's like,
much.
I'm not trying to go to
Yep.
jail.
And then I said, "Oh man, I used to watch him when I met him at BravoCon a couple years ago. He was so sweet. It was, when they were talking about husbands and Happy Eddie. So I wanted a picture with him. So I walked up to him and said, "My husband would love that peacoat. He would absolutely love it." Boom. I don't want nothing from you, Eddie. My
Right.
man is fine too. Okay. So then we took some pictures or whatever. And it was funny. But um, I forgot why I said that. It was about Eddie. Anyway, Eddie, I feel bad. That's what I just go back to what if they go to jail, Jasmine?
Yeah. I, a lot of people have been predicting, a lot of people way smarter than me and more well versed in this type of thing they think that they will serve some
Yes.
time. My only hope and prayer is that they can serve it separately. Like, let one of the parents stay with the children But
Mm-mm-mm.
I don't know. Something I know this makes no sense at all. A little part of me thinks I want to wake up one day and I'm like, all charges have been
Same.
dropped.
I said the same thing. Because I thought with Karen, I tweeted right before the sentence. I said, I think Karen going to jail because I just had a feeling
Yeah.
with Andy and Weddy, with Wendy and Eddie,
With Pam and Eddie Hennessy.
with Pam. Girl, when the lawyer said that in court, that was so funny to hear him say that in court.
Oh my
Like to
God.
say that and then they're just sitting there. But I feel like the same.
Yeah.
I feel like I almost feel like because it's playing out in such a public manner, are they going to try to use that?
I think to make an example out of them.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think so. And the show is not doing them any favors because every episode we're
Maybe.
getting a soundbite of somebody alluding to this money that they have and her mom, Eddie talking about Wendy wants a new ring for their anniversary.
Girl,
Cameron has 4 phones.
I said, is Cameron a drug dealer? Like, why do you have four
You
phones?
know, that's a joke that I wanted to make, but I'm like, when it comes to the children, I'm always trying to be very careful, but I wanted to tweet like, why does Cameron need trap phones?
Like,
Why does she
four
need a trap
phones.
phone? Yeah.
I want them to answer that question. I hope they bring that up at the reunion. Why does cute Cam, she is so cute.
She's so
Why does
cute.
cute Cam need four phones? But I will say this, when he said that about she wants another ring, I was thinking, so are you gonna trade the one that she not really supposed to have?
The stolen one.
And in court, and as I'm bringing this up, I know y'all have heard me talk about this, but I'm bringing it up because it's relevant to this episode. When the lawyer said, the prosecution says they have very little money, and the reason they want financial records, the business, because they were pushing to get the business financial records, not their personal. Of course, we know the judge ruled, yep, later on that day. They're pushing for motive. What's not going to help is, and in the words of Carlos, while Carlos said Carroll County is taking notes, if they're saying, and the defense was upset, saying that the prosecution is just throwing statements out like this because they want the media to have a certain perception. He said, but there's no proof. If we get these financial records, if they become public, there's proof, which then points to motive. But then also they can look at these episodes and say, where did the money come for these renovations when you said you've spent over $100,000? If they're already showing in debt, then there would be, even though I was trying to think of the time of filming, and shout out to one of the subscribers, they answered me on it because I was thinking, when did they say the robbery happened? Had they already filmed the season, or were they getting renovations banking on the fact that this money was going to come through?
Mm.
Um, but this is not going to be good if they get them financial records and show that they are in debt, and it's going to show how they pay. Like, I mean,
Wait a minute. Actually, I think they did. I think there is uh justification or cause for assumption that they use the money on the renovations. Did you watch her wife swap episode?
mm-mm.
So they did the Real Housewives wife swap. And remember they had to re-edit hers. Hers was supposed to be first,
Yes,
and they had to re-edit hers in lieu of the charges that came out. Now, in the the wife swap episodes, those were before the renovation. So if they had to edit that episode around these issues. Now I don't know why they needed to pull her episode and make it
right.
come out later. I don't know if there were items within and like the prosecution were like if they were looking at the footage or whatever.
Okay.
But to my understanding, because in that episode, the kids spilled paint in her living room, and it was not that living room that she got renovated. I want to say it was the previous living room. So if they had to pull that episode because of something pertaining to this case, I think that house that was before her renovation.
Wow. And then to even go a step further, they did all of this and only got the $25,000. They
Oh,
didn't
they
get,
didn't get the 400 something.
the prosecution said that, I forget her exact, I had it right here. I forget her exact statement, but it was like, um, oh my gosh. She said they got, she made a very clear, basically they got okay. They only got $25,000 before other insurance companies caught on. And
Oh.
she said, here's the other thing. We've heard that they recovered stuff in their home. And Wendy's argument was that it was an illegal search and seizure. Remember, she came out with that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But they recovered the items from their home. The Osefos were asked if they replaced any stolen items. Because we could say, well, wait, the ring she had on could have been replaced, or the wallets
Mm-hmm.
or the purses. They said no. So the items that So even that, even if the financial records don't do anything, if you have a list of items that you've given to the insurance company that we've recovered from your house and you're saying you didn't replace them, you're on
Wow.
record.
Yeah. It's not looking good then.
And especially with them having audio of Eddie telling one insurance company one thing about the ring. So, Jazz, they did all this and only got $25,000.
Which like you're clearing
Yes.
way more than that per episode of the show.
I
It
said,
wasn't
oh,
worth it, but gosh, I guess the bright side is restitution won't be that much then.
yeah, yeah.
They having to pay upwards of 25,000 in restitution.
Can they make that argument? Like, if you give us house arrest, we can work and pay this restitution back because they could film in her house.
I hope. I mean, I would if I was her defense, that's what I would say.
Oh my,
That's what I would say. But then also it's like house arrest. How far can you go? You can't because allegedly where they live at in Finksburg is so far from Potomac. Like, will the ankle monitors? Can you go that far on the ankle monitor?
it's far. I know it's an
Yeah.
hour from my house,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm an hour from Potomac, maybe an hour and 25. So like, that's
Yeah.
why we don't. I think that's why we don't see a lot of scenes with Wendy. And now Robin used to live in Howard County, which isn't too bad from Potomac. Like none of them. Well, we know, at least with the ladies that live up in that area, they may not be Potomac proper, but they're in Montgomery County, which is what Potomac is in.
Right.
Like at
Right.
least they're all in the same county. Most of them were for
Hmm.
that part. But yeah, Wendy lives far.
Yeah. So I don't know if the filming thing would well, I mean, I'm sure they would give her clearance to work. Like she could
Yeah,
go
hopefully, yeah.
and drive and do work and stuff like that. But yeah, sad situation all around. Prayers for the Osefos, prayers for those kids.
Yes.
Their sons are at an age where this is so embarrassing. Not only traumatic, but like extremely embarrassing. And
Yes.
yeah, so this is it's not good, but
Cam with her four phones, she's online.
that's what I'm saying. And she probably is, all four of the phones calling her friends, telling them to stop talking about her
Yes.
parents.
Cam is smart. What if she's one of the burner accounts? No, I'm just playing. Y'all, I'm just joking. Just trying to lighten it up because I really feel bad
Yeah,
for them.
yeah,
Cam
I
did not want
do.
that potato salad, by the way. She said that potato salad is white. It's supposed to be a little bit yellow.
It looked too wet, but she
When
did
when
she
you
had the
said that,
paprika.
I screamed. I
She
said,
had the paprika on top, which I was like, it doesn't look it looks wet, but it doesn't look that bad. Like I've seen worse. I've seen
yes.
worse. I've seen worse.
I know what I was going to say when I talked about Eddie at BravoCon. I was going to say meeting him at BravoCon and them seeing them on the episode. Sometimes I'm like, oh, me and Corey could be friends with them. Child, they will never be friends with you. They see you in court.
That's my I'm like Wendy's never gonna she's never gonna speak to me. I've never met her in person. I met her when we had her in Reality with the Kings. I
Yes,
met
I
her
remember that.
virtually. Yeah, but I've never met her in person and now I don't think I ever will because she's gonna be like, girl, you make a joke at my expense every chance you get, but it's just a joke, Wind.
Or she will because she wants to be able to say, and Jazz, it really hurt when while getting exposure.
That's true too. That's
Because
true. Look, my doors are always open. They're open to everyone except Ashley Darby.
come on, I remember when I was starting out my podcast, and of course, you want to have in my mind, I was like, well, I need to have different housewives on to build it up. And then I said, nope, I can't go that route. I've got to go the route of having like people I genuinely want to talk to. Because there's no way I could sit. Now, if I was in a working scene,
Hmm.
working somewhere, and they said you had to interview, of course, turn it on, turn it off. But my own,
It's tough. I think that's one like kind of I think that's the thing we don't talk about a lot as people who do this work. When you start meeting these people and building relationships with them, it makes it hard to then
Yes.
come on and talk about things because you feel a little protective of them, or you know what I'm saying? And it's like it makes it hard. And I have channel surf is where I recap and I talk with other content creators and we recap shows. But I have another series called The Queue where I interview actors about what they like to watch when they're not on screen. But I have some episodes coming up in 2026
Okay.
with some people from our beloved Unscripted. Okay.
Oh.
And it is one of those things that now that I'm going, like, I'm kind of moving into this phase, it's like, you kind of have to watch
Yeah.
what you say because it's awkward. I say stuff and I think it's funny, and I'm like,
Come
it's
on.
shady, it's funny, but these people take a lot of this stuff on these shows very seriously, and like, you are not in control of how people react to the things that you say, and I'm very well aware of that. Like I told you, when you text your sister-in-law that, whatever she would have done
I would have
deserved.
deserved it.
Right. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's how I'm like, okay, if I'm being shady to you and I might think it's funny, and then I
Same.
reach out to you to ask you to come on my show to talk about what you like to watch on TV, and you're like, girl, fuck you. I, I have to eat that.
I have to eat it. You know who even though she had never been one of my favorite people, my level of respect rose for her was Mia Thornton. I'll tell you why. Because I've used this analogy, well, not analogy, an example before. Last season, when Ashley was the last season when they played chicken-ish bingo, that chicken bingo. They went on vacation. Ashley planned it. They went to Austin, and it was horrible.
Oh, girl, I did not watch that because they were at the Red Roof Inn, and I was like, I
Yes.
don't want to
Okay.
watch y'all be poor.
Well, in that episode, Mia, Wendy, Karen, and I don't know who else were sitting outside. It might have been the season before last, but you know what season I'm talking
Yep,
about.
I do.
We're sitting outside, and there was a crow on the telephone wires. And Mia goes to Wendy, "Is that your mom?"
I do remember. I do remember that because that was that like witchcraft
Yeah.
rumor that they were trying to start about her mom, right? Yeah.
So on the way back to the hotel, the path was all broken up and like the cement was cracked. And they're like, "Watch out, you're stepping on a crack." So I tweeted and said, "Now, Mia," and of course I didn't at her because I said, "Now, Mia,
I know where this is going.
now, Mia, if would Wendy have been wrong if when they stepped over them cracks, she said, 'Is that your mom?'" Girl, I don't know how she found it. She said, "No," with a heart. My question was, would Wendy have been wrong if she basically called your mom a crackhead? She said no with a heart. And I responded back, respect.
Touche, bitch. That's she said no.
But you knew where I was going with that, right?
I knew as soon as when you said crack and the pieces came together in my mind, I'm like, oh.
And the fact that she responded the way she did, I said,
I
you
love
got
people
that.
like that. I
Yeah,
love people like that. Cause like that your job is to be on TV. Our job is to then talk about that and make jokes about it,
yep.
throw shade, all of this stuff, right? I think there's a line between shade and cruelty.
Now
You know what I'm
that's,
saying?
yeah,
But as long as we can keep it funny and you guys should they should be more welcoming to it because it's like without us,
come
you guys
on.
don't become as big as you become. You know what I
Come
mean?
on. Hello. Which is why
So
y'all be sliding into the DMs and stuff because you want that.
somebody slid into my DMs the other day.
Oh, yeah, we gonna end because I'm nosy. No.
I will tell you offline.
Y'all, please give it up for my new friend, Jazz. Jazz, I have truly enjoyed you. Like I said,
Me
your
too.
smile truly lights up whatever area you're in. You
Thank
are
you.
funny, insightful, and I like getting your insight again because you've been behind is camera is camera in quotes or behind.
Hmm.
You've been on these sets and different things, and you know how things go. So you have an insight that some of us do not have. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you now coming in front of the camera and bringing that to the camera. So thank you so much. Jazz will definitely be back over and over and over again. She don't know I'm about to get her number, so that way I ain't even got to email. Once they come on, y'all, and we exchange numbers, I don't email no more. I text. What you doing today? What you doing next week? What you doing 3 days from now? What you
I
doing nine
love
weeks from
that.
now?
I love that. And thank you so much for thinking of me, for having me. Like I said, I appreciate you, all the life that you spoke into me. It means more than you will ever, ever, ever know. I have so much respect for you. Can't wait to continue to watch you grow and be, an even bigger deal in this space.
Girl, you better
Because
say that.
you are someone special. So I'm so glad that we are now in community with each other. We're friends. Because I love having friends in high places, and you're about to be
Thank
in
you.
high places. I love that. I love that. So yeah, thank you, and thank you so much to your subscribers. I hope you guys enjoyed me. And if you want to follow me, I'm at J Henley Brown on
Yes,
all platforms. You can watch Channel Surf. You can watch the Q if you are more interested in kind of more structured conversations
I
with
love
people that
that.
you see on TV. So yeah, that's me.
She talking about me being in high places, and she asking people, y'all might see somebody slide in the frame behind her on the queue. Taria, what are you doing? Y'all make sure you subscribe to Jazz, both of her channels. I will have her information.
Oh,
If
it's
you're,
only on one channel. Sorry, I didn't
oh,
mean to
one,
cut you off.
oh,
Yep,
okay, so it's
my
on
channel
both.
is J
Oh,
Henley
I
Brown.
love that.
Yep, the
Okay,
series, and they have their own playlists and everything. So you can go to J Henley Brown and you will see both
okay.
series there.
Oh, that is perfect. All right, so we make sure we support. I will have her link. If you are listening audio, I will put it in the description, wherever it is you listen to, Apple, Spotify, all that. If you're watching, it'll be there. Y'all make sure y'all give Jazz a warm welcome. Go follow, go support. If y'all don't know the iconic face that I'm talking about, that we talked about in the beginning of the episode, DM me, and because it's out there. I'm just joking, but y'all, we love y'all so much. Y'all have this episode is going to come out Christmas Eve. So I hope y'all,
Mhm.
if you're wrapping your presents or doing last minute things or what have you before your family comes over, if you're like, oh, I need an escape, please listen to this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hype the video if you want, if you have any hypes left over. I appreciate all of y'all support. Y'all know that I truly love you and could not do this without the community. And I'm proud of the community that we're building. We will talk to you later, y'all. See ya. What'd you say? Nope, heart, like me.
No.